Hey guys, welcome to Let's Talk Resident Evil Episode 3. We are back, and this time we have to do things a little bit different because, well, now we have our own site, which you guys can check out in the description. We are now on iTunes, and you can also download our episodes if you don't have iTunes or if you don't have all that fucking Apple shit. You can download it on Libsyn.com. So I have all the links in the description. So, and yes, we are going to continue uploading them on YouTube as well, but you can download it. And we actually got pretty good numbers in when I started putting these up because I wanted to do it in a more professional manner. So on the first episode of the podcast, when I actually uploaded it for download, we managed to. I'm going to pull up the numbers right here because I have them. We managed to get around, I think it was, here it is. We have 73 downloads on our first episode and 62 on our second, so that makes 135 downloads, so thank you. You guys are awesome, and I hope it keeps growing and building, and you guys keep checking it out. So, on this episode, we have the original co-host, Richard, so why don't you say hello? There you go.
What's up, guys?
And we also have a special guest, a good friend of mine, Perry. Why don't you say hello?
Yo!
And he also does a Cheap Pop podcast, which is a wrestling podcast that my brother does. And they talk about gay wrestlers, so you can go check that out. Now,
Cheappop.net.
Cheappop.net, so there you go. He plugged his shit already, so there you go. We have a few things to talk about tonight. We have a shitload of fucking questions, but we're going to get to them later. So we're going to try to knock these out as fast as we can when we get to them. Now, I don't know if Perry saw it, but the first thing we're going to talk about is the Biohazard trailer, which is apparently this. I don't know what country. I don't know if it's in Germany. I don't know what actual country it's in, but there's a trailer of somebody who's making an independent film, pretty much their own interpretation of the first Resident Evil, and it looks really good. It looks better than anything Paul W.S. Anderson touched. Which is pretty much what everything's saying.
A lot more faithful than anything Paul Anderson did.
It does look more faithful, yeah. And
you know what his middle name is?
What's his middle name?
Shit.
Paul What's Shit Anderson. You're right. You got that right.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
See, everybody knows how shit he is. So but the thing is though, we saw.
Let me put my wife in my movie, and then maybe she'll bang me.
I remember one of the top comments on that trailer was, "Yeah, the movies are basically just love letters to his wife."
Yeah, that's pretty much true. I mean,
yeah, man, get them the hell out of there. On that DVD commentary, she's like, "Oh, I love playing Grand Theft Auto 3." Well, no shit. What an idiot.
That has a lot to do with Resident Evil.
I like playing Tetris and Barbie's Adventure on PS3 too, but you don't see me freaking making video game movies in the shit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of funny how a little independent film company from another country can do better than all this time we've been pretty much watching these movies.
You know why? Because they're not getting paid big bucks, and they'll stay true to the franchise.
Budget doesn't matter. I mean, the smaller the budget, the better your film will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I don't know when it's coming out now. Victor, which is one of my subscribers, if you're watching this, you did send me a message on Xbox before, and you asked me if I saw the scenes that they uploaded, like a little sneak peek of scenes. I haven't seen them yet. I should, and you guys should check it out too. If you haven't, I'll probably put the link in the description of this or whatever. But I mean, it looks cool. It looks like they have their own set pieces for the mansion, from what I see. They have they have the outside, they have the certain hallways and stuff. So it's kind of cool that they actually are incorporating this stuff. Now, I saw the trailer, and the only thing I kind of have to complain about, because I saw a different trailer, is like their English. It isn't broken, but like English isn't their first language, so it kind of sounds awkward in a way. It doesn't sound as smooth, but it shouldn't take away from the actual film. I don't know how they're going to release this, but it looks like it's going to be really fucking cool.
Yeah, but so was the English in the first game. It's all broken anyway.
True.
So you got right there. You're keeping the movie the way it is.
Yeah.
True to the game.
And the makeup looks really cool, too. I don't know who they have the makeup design, but the zombies look pretty badass. And I wonder if they're going to actually have a full-on tyrant at the end, like in the actual game. That would be pretty cool.
Thank God they don't have the budget to make a Matrix movie in between.
Yeah.
God,
Well,
hate
they could
that.
do all slow-mo and shit. Yeah.
No,
3D.
don't do that. Don't ever do that again.
Oh, he's gonna keep doing it. I mean, Afterlife was like, I enjoyed Afterlife for what it was worth. I mean, it was still crap. If you want, we talked about this in episode 2.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, but you know what the problem is, guys? I hate to bring you guys into this, but you guys keep going to these movies and seeing them when they're in the theaters. You're supporting them. And when you do that, you're giving them more ammunition to make more of these crappy movies.
yeah.
Hey,
I know.
all you Resident Evil fans out there, I grew up with this series, all right? Let me tell you something. Those movies suck. It's okay to like them when they're on DVD or video, because then, you can get them anywhere you want. But don't go see them in the theaters, because they're going to keep making more of this crap. Why don't you protest it? Let them reboot it, and hopefully they'll do it right.
Well, we can only hope. I mean, it's been how many years now? 2002, right?
Yeah, so it's been, what, 11 years?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Problem is that it's mainly people in other countries that go to see these movies, because outside of North America, lots of people love them.
Yeah, they don't care. It's just
They don't care.
they love those types of movies over there.
Yeah.
They're fans of just the movies and not the games. Like they.
There's this girl who made a video on IGN, and she was like crazy about the movies. She has no idea the games even exist.
Really?
Yeah, she's meeting the actors and stuff, and then the wardrobe people are showing her all the costumes that Alice wears, and she's like, "Oh my god, is that the coat from Extinction? Oh my god!" And she's got like an Alice pillowcase and everything.
What the fuck?
Hey, then you know what this should be called? Alice in fucking Wonderland. In Japan or wherever the hell it is. Germany or whatever. Overseas,
What?
call it that.
Resident Evil movies are actually subliminal messages for Alice in Wonderland.
Hey, I like those CGI movies that they do.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just reboot the first movie in that. Don't even worry about the actors. Hey, you
It'll
know
save
what?
time.
Make your shitty movies and put that other stuff on DVD and Blu-ray, like the reboot of the series in CGI, and I'll watch that instead.
You're right.
Because they could do it right. They don't have any budget, no constraints.
You're right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's more like, it's giving into pretty much Hollywood. As you said, like the people that are doing it independently, they're staying true to the series. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see a reboot that will be like to the T of the original, and I don't expect that.
Yeah.
But George A. Romero's script had it down. He added his own stuff in there, and I'm not saying it was perfect, but there was a Jill and Chris sex scene and stuff like that, and they had a relationship. And George A. Romero, who originally did that, was I'm just saying I thought he did a good job, and I don't know why Capcom really fired him.
The funny thing is that he was making his secretary play the game, I think, while taking notes, or the other way around. So he was actually studying the game as he was playing it, and then he decided what to put in the film or in the writing process.
See, I didn't know that. So, and then I don't know why it's still not true. Or it's not true. It's still not clear on why Capcom fired him, because they actually fired him from the project. They didn't just say George A. didn't say, "Hey, I just don't think this is working out." They took him out. They got worthless shit, and pretty much that's it. The rest is history. And I don't know why. Did they not see potential in this script? Because he had scenes with James Marcus, and he had scenes everything.
Yeah, well, they wanted an action movie, that's why, and he was providing a horror movie.
They probably didn't want it because it was too close to the games, or some stupid reason like that.
Well, Capcom are idiots, so.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that they eventually made Dead Rising, which was heavily inspired by Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly.
So how pissed do you think Romero was?
And even on the case, doesn't it say not? It says something.
They even got in trouble for that because people thought that they were ripping off Dawn of the Dead, and eventually Capcom never got in trouble, but there was actually a lawsuit with the whole ripping off the movie.
Well, it clearly was it wasn't a blatant ripoff, but 90% of it is.
Hey, but you know what? The first Resident Evil was inspired by the Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Who knows? Who knows?
And that Blu-ray actually is worth a lot of money. It's rare.
Oh, really? I love that remake. I thought it was great.
Dude, that Blu-ray is worth like $200 or something because they didn't make that many.
Oh, wow. Was it only available in the UK or something?
No, United States. It came out. It was like only like, I don't know, 1,000, not 1,000, maybe 10,000 copies printed. If even.
Why such little like production of that? Like, why didn't they produce
Well, I
more?
figured it'd be like a bargain bin thing, and it was. And I think they only sold it through their website at some point.
Oh, okay.
But it was only $30. Now everyone wants like $200, $300, $400, $500 for it on Amazon and eBay.
Damn.
And luckily somebody leaked it on the internet, so I downloaded the actual BD-ROM, BD25 ROM, and there's nothing ripped from. It's not a rip; it's a complete Blu-ray disc. Somebody uploaded. Yeah, I grabbed that. That was great.
That's awesome. I got to check that out, actually.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
I'll probably hook you up with that.
Awesome.
But that movie was inspired. That movie is what inspired the creators of Resident Evil. And if you watch that movie, that's more of a Resident Evil movie than the actual Resident Evil movies. I would recommend anybody to find that DVD or Blu-ray. The DVD, I think, is $5 in bargain bins usually.
You can find it easily, yeah.
Yeah, it's Night of the Living Dead remake, 1990 by Tom Savini. Excellent movie.
Really great. I loved his interpretation of it. Like, it wasn't just like a original remake. I like how they made the main character a fighter more than just kind of like the original. Barbara was her name, I think it was.
Yeah, but that's what they based Chris and Jill on. As fighters.
Oh, really?
Exactly. Yeah. And Perry told me that a while ago. He actually I didn't know that, and he also told me that it was inspired by Sweet Home, which was an NES game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was something. I still have to play that. It looks really cool, though.
There's a reproduction cartridge of that in English. That goes
yeah?
for some big bucks, though. I think about $100.
Was it on the emulator that you put on the My PS3?
No. At the time, there was only the Japanese version. I don't know if an English ROM exists. I think just through the reproduction carts.
Well, hopefully somebody will get on that.
Yeah, maybe it's out. I don't even know. I never really checked. But that game was basically your precursor to Resident Evil.
With that NES graphics and stuff, yeah, I have no idea what it's about, but it looks pretty creepy.
So it's kind of like an RPG, but it's kind of like Resident Evil. Like if you go with a bunch of people through a haunted house and shit like that, and if you get killed, one of your members gets killed off, they're dead. It's pretty creepy too, and the box art's scary as hell.
Yeah, the Japanese always kind of had they used to kind of have a really kind of scary factor to their games, kind of weird, kind of odd when things aren't explained. But
no, they do. It's just that Capcom doesn't.
Yeah, Capcom.
Just like Capcom screwed over Mega Man, but this is a Resident Evil podcast, so I'll stick with that.
Pretty much, Capcom are idiots.
Yeah.
I mean,
think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I don't know what happened to them. Hey, Resident Evil 6 when it came out was all right, but then when I'm playing it, I'm like the storyline suffered big time.
Oh yeah,
because you got 4 campaigns that all intertwine into one story. It's like, come on, give me something different.
I was against that from the get-go. When me and Richard played that demo, and when I was thinking about it in the summer, I was like, I have a feeling this is going to get way too messy.
Yeah.
This is going to get too bombarded, and I never thought it was a good idea. See, when I first saw the trailer...
we had fun with the demo, no doubt, when it first came out, but I remember as soon as I played it, I had my doubts as well.
Yeah, and I thought the way they were going to do it was where you kind of switch off between characters through the story, and then it comes together at the end.
That would have made too much sense for these people.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because when I saw that you could select each one, and you're playing the same thing over again, in one scene, when you're Jake, you have to fight the monsters again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just why do I have to do this again? Even my dad, when he played it, he was like, I gotta do this again? And I was like, yeah, you do. And he's like,
Yeah, after I beat Leon and Chris, I started on Jake, and I was like, why am I playing this? It's the same exact thing, and I gave up. I haven't played it since. That was months ago.
Here's hoping for a Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, and...
yeah, you ain't never gonna see that.
Somebody asked that in the questions.
Anything the fans want from Capcom, they will never get.
Oh, yeah, because
just remember that.
Horror doesn't sell anymore. We gotta cater.
Yeah, it's all about
Call of Duty. Horror does sell, but the problem is they're turning it into action, and that's the problem.
But Capcom believes that horror doesn't sell.
Resident Evil 5 was a great game. 4 was a great game. I mean, they they took that was like the new generation of Resident Evil control scheme. They did everything
the
right.
Camera
with those
angles
games.
and shit.
Yeah, they did everything cool with those. All right. Then they branched off in the 6. They tried something different. Fine, but they just had, like you guys said, it was cluttered. It was a mess. It was all over the place. Nobody knows what the hell's going on anymore. You have too many. You have too much shit going on at once.
Exactly.
With too many
And
guys, the characters
holes.
you can't relate to them anymore because you're not stuck with one character or 2 characters anymore. Now you're worried about 6 characters.
Yeah,
And it's like, who gives a shit at this point?
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head. That is true. It's just like you're not sticking to any formula anymore. It's like, who do I like? So many plot holes, and like, how could they even patch this up at this point? Like, I know.
I can't.
Yeah,
It's a done deal. It's over.
They'll probably make, if they do make RE7, they'll probably ignore this one, and I hope they do.
They're
better off.
I heard Revelations on consoles. Apparently, that's going to prove to them whether horror still sells or not. Which Revelations on the DS has been getting critically acclaimed reviews. I mean, I've had the game. I never really had time to play it, but I heard it's been excellent. So I can't wait to get it on consoles.
Same.
But to be honest, they really need to nuke the series and just reboot it. I mean, I know reboots always suck, but you know what? If you start from the first game and do it all the way correctly, you can change things a little bit, and you can make it make more sense.
We talked about this on episode 2. We talked about the Revelation sales and the reboot and how the thing that I was against was I don't really think that it should depend on Revelation sales because, number one, it might not sell as well because it was already released. If they depended on a sequel, it might make more sense. But the fact they're like, hey, we're going to depend...
And people might just look at it as like an odd game because it was on a handheld system first.
Yeah,
it doesn't...
Yeah, but what you guys don't understand is this has happened before. Handhelds have been ported to actual like consoles, and they've done really, really well. I can't remember. There was 1 or 2 games off the top of my head, but I think Legends of Zelda 4 Swords. You know,
that was on GameCube, right?
It was on Game Boy Advance first, and then they put it on GameCube.
They put it on GameCube.
Sold pretty well. It was a really popular game. I mean, I know it's not like
it all depends on like the translation. Or
true.
Transition from handheld to home consoles. So if they can do a really good job,
I think that Revelations will sell well on consoles. I don't think you're going to get like Resident Evil 5 numbers, but I think you're going to get people that were like, all right, we wanted to try this game out. We could finally try it. We heard it was really good, and I think it's going to sell based on that.
And people that were disappointed in 6 as well might kind of appreciate it.
Well, I think they should base. I don't think they should base their reboot on Revelations. I think they should base their reboot on how crappy 6 was.
True.
You know, that's the bottom line. Revelations is going to be a great game. Will anybody pick it up? It depends. Like I said, there's a lot of intrigue for that game.
A lot of fans haven't played it, so I'm sure it will.
And it does go back to horror. You know what I mean? It's not like this full motion video crap.
If anything, if they decide to reboot it, like we've already discussed most of it in the last episode of the podcast. But from what I know, when they rebooted Sonic 06, they still kept the same characters and story, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But if they were to reboot Resident Evil, I don't want them to change like the overall story and characters.
Well, I don't think they will, but they'll probably make the expansion of it make a lot more sense than what it did in the beginning. Like, you know, Wesker, he'll probably be convoluted into one character from the beginning, so you know, okay, this guy has superpowers or blah blah blah. It won't like expand into this huge clusterfuck of a mess that it has spanned into.
Because it knows that.
Because first you thought the guy was dead, then he's alive, then you don't know what happens to him, and then he goes away, he comes back, then he's a monster again, and he's, you know, all this crazy stuff. I think if they do reboot the series, they will they'll make it make a lot more sense to follow their chronological order of what they want to do.
You're right. And you know what? You mentioned to me, I think it was or I think it was Richard. We were talking about this. I think I was talking about this with a few other people. Because everybody compares this to DMC. And they said, hey, look at DMC's success. They rebooted it. Fans actually liked it.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah. I haven't played it.
I'm looking at, like, I'm comparing it with the Tomb Raider reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Tomb Raider's great.
Because that was an amazing game.
Yeah, awesome.
Game.
Yeah.
Perry, me and you got to play that online. Same with you, Richard. We got to play that because I mean, it looks fun.
It's game of the year already. Came out in February. It's game of the year.
Oh yeah, it's my
Pretty
game of the
much,
year
yeah.
so far.
Same. I gotta agree. And you know what? Like, fuck all that next gen shit. I mean,
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, Tomb Raider's game of the year, just for the fact that nothing's going to come out and top it. You have the new Xbox and PS3 coming out in November, PS4.
Yeah, whatever.
PlayStation 4 sucks.
yeah.
Let's just get that off the bat. Nothing exclusive was announced.
I don't care about like.
And that
these
Watch
gimmicky
Dogs shit
shit.
is going to be on Wii U anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Watch Dogs is going to be on 360 as well.
Yeah, and all the other systems.
Yeah, that, like, so why would people, like...
Dude, when they have a press conference announcing a system and they don't show what the machine looks like, pretty much goes to show it's worthless piece of crap.
Yeah. They're
Are they gonna
probably
show it
just,
at
like,
E3 probably?
Yeah, probably saving it for E3, I guess.
360, I heard, well, whatever the next Xbox is going to be called, I heard something like April 28th. They might announce it, but
They might do what Sony did.
100% certain it'll be announced at E3.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
it'll
they-
be out this holiday season. Don't kid yourselves.
Yeah, I know. And who knows? Maybe something Resident Evil related will come out with that. I don't know what.
I don't know. Because if they're going to redo the series, they got to have time for that.
True.
Mhm.
We might not see Resident Evil active in 2013.
Hey, but let me
other
tell you guys something.
Revelations.
Maybe rebooting the series is a good thing, because you'll finally get that damn Resident Evil 2 remake.
That
You
is
know?
true.
And you'll get
I
it
mean,
a lot nicer. I mean, a lot of people hate the game Operation Raccoon City. It's supposed to be a spin-off. I don't know why people are so butthurt over it. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
a what-if type game. All right? Yeah, it was with SOCOM controls. Big deal.
Well,
it was supposed to be a different game.
the reason
Now, the point
I
is,
didn't-
if you got Resident Evil 2 remade with those graphics and those types of environments, that's going to be a hell of a game.
True.
what were you going to say, Richard?
Well, I was just saying, like, most people don't like Operation Raccoon City, because I, for one, sure, it was a spin-off, and if they had made a tactical shooter that was actually well made, I would have really liked it. Like, I tried basing Resident Evil 6 off its own merits, and it's an okay action game. But with Raccoon City, there's just too many technical difficulties. The graphics aren't that great. The story is barely even there. The characters you don't care for them that much.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a mediocre shooter.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to. It's a spin-off. It's not supposed to...
Yeah, but I'm not comparing it
That
to
thing
the
isn't
other
even
games.
supposed to exist.
I'm not
'cause you-
comparing it to the other games. Like, I'm not hating on it because it's a horror game or because it's a spin-off. I'm hating on it because... Well, I'm not really hating on it, but I just dislike it because it's not a very good shooter in general.
I thought it was great.
I mean, yeah, it's
Good.
all opinion. It's all
Yeah.
opinion released. It's a personal preference. Like my review is uploaded. So if you don't know my opinion on
Same
it,
here.
whoever's
I made
Yeah.
an opinion video on it as well.
yeah. So I pretty much got it out of the way. I liked it. You know, it had problems, but I liked it. Yeah, pretty much leave that off with that. I mean, there's a few other like things that that when I looked at that game, because it was supposed. I thought it could have been better. Like, it could have been way better. Because it was hyped up to be better, and it just kind of fell a little bit flat, but it was still fun. I played the shit out of that game, and I'd be lying if I
Yeah.
said I didn't have fun
Well,
with
look at
it.
how much they overhyped 6.
True.
Look what happened there.
Yeah.
I'd rather play our Operation Raccoon City than 6. To be honest with you.
To be honest with both of you, I had more fun like playing co-op and playing multiplayer on Raccoon City than I did with 6. Like, for some reason, when I was done with 6, I was done. I have no... it wasn't like RE5. Like, I have no urge to go back and play
Yeah.
co-op with
Yeah.
you.
Exactly what I told you. I stopped playing.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of that 3rd campaign. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Like, yeah, and I could be like, hey, Perry, let's play co-op, or hey, Richard, let's play co-op. No, I don't have that urge. Like, RE5, I will play that any day of the week.
RE5 was a beautifully made game. And a lot of people
I was
be
just playing
butthurt,
R5 the other day.
and they'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, well, it wasn't a horror game. Well, obviously, the series has evolved.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 had horror elements in it, but to be honest, people, you were fighting an infected cult with a virus.
Yeah.
Okay? You weren't fighting zombies then, so why are you hating on 5 saying, oh, there's no zombies in it? Well, there weren't zombies in 4 either.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the thing. Like, they're
The
really
same freaking
biased.
guy, Los Plagas, or whatever the hell those guys were called.
Well, those
Yeah.
people are just blind because they think that having zombies in a game will make it good.
Exactly,
And
and
it all
that shows in
depends on, like-
RE6.
Yeah, it all depends on the atmosphere and how good the game actually is.
Resident
you
Evil
got-
5 on my PC is great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that they I knew they released on PC. I didn't know it was a good port.
No,
'Cause usually-
you put a nice graphics card in there, and I'm not talking thousands of dollars. Spent like $100 on my graphics card, right?
Uh-huh.
That thing plays beautifully, way better than the 360 version, way better than the
I'm sure.
PlayStation 3 version. It looks fucking great.
The
I love
360
those
version
graphics.
already looks great, but the PC version looks amazing.
Yeah. And my
Mhm.
computer, by the way, is from 2006. It's
There
a
you
dual
go.
core, not even a quad core. All right, got 4
There you have
gigs
it.
of RAM, and I got that. It's some PNY card that I just bought late last year. So the gameplay is amazing, especially when you plug in a 360 remote. You're good to go.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna pick it up, for the collection. But hopefully one day I'll get a chance to actually play it because my laptop.
It's fucking awesome, man. That game is great.
Yeah, I think they on the RE6 PC they were promoting that Left 4 Dead 2 crap. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
trying to get you to buy all the shitty copies they got left in their warehouse.
It's true. It's true.
That is true. Yeah, and all right. Well, that covers that. Now, the
Yeah.
next thing I wanted to go on, the next topic, is I just thought it was cool to talk about because I really wanted because I knew Perry was going to be on the show, and I was thinking, well, now we can get 3 different opinions. Now, I don't know because I wanted to bring it up. And
Jill, is that you, Jill?
No, I wanted to bring it up. It was opinions on the most overrated Resident Evil games.
Can you play
And what-
Rebecca?
But yeah, like the most overrated Resident Evil games. Like, what do you guys?
hell? All right, I'll stop doing that.
What do you guys think is the most overrated Resident Evil game? I'll start with you, Richard.
Most overrated Resident Evil game?
Yeah, like what do you think is a game that people give like a lot of credit to when it's not really that good? Now, again, this is opinion related, so I might not agree, Para might not agree, several fans might not agree, but this is just shooting the shit. So let's go.
Code Veronica.
I agree.
I think too many people like that game, which is fine, but I don't like that game that much. I just don't.
What about you, Perry?
I'd probably have to agree with them.
Yeah?
Besides 6, which I don't think anybody likes 6 anyway, but
Yeah, I don't think 6 was that overrated.
That's far off the list. Yeah.
let's just say before 6 came out, it was the most overhyped game. But I think he's right. Chris, I want to see what he looked like.
There you go.
It just
Looks
So
like
you-
fucking
didn't have
Donkey
an
Kong, too. He wasn't even
interesting-
worth it.
He looks like Donkey Kong.
He looks
It
like
just
Donkey
wasn't
Kong 64.
It wasn't interesting.
No,
It
they
wasn't.
had so much potential with that. I mean, the way the game starts out and how the
And
zombies
it was the
look.
first next gen too. It
Yeah.
was the first next gen.
It was supposed to be a great game. I bought a Dreamcast because of that game, and then that's what I got. The fuck out of here!
Nick bought a Dreamcast back in the day, and I remember when he actually bought that and brought that home, and I was watching him play it, and I don't think he ever beat it, but I remember he got that when it was brand new, and it was like really big. Now, it was fun when I played through it. It's really long, but like I did the Let's Play on it, so a lot of you guys might be like, "What, Ant? You did an LP on it like back in the summer? I thought you liked it." I did like it, but doing a Let's Play kind of made it fun. I beat it a few times, but it's nothing that like I would take out my Dreamcast and play it for fun.
And why are there 100 different versions of that game?
There is, yeah, there's a lot.
They changed like the guy's hair because he looks like DiCaprio too much, and that guy
Yeah.
sucked too. He was annoying.
Yeah, his voice acting is bad too. Father!
I'm sorry.
And then
I'm
he turns
sorry.
into the Hulk, and then you have to kill him.
I remember in Anthony's Let's Play, you kept getting killed by the battle axe.
Oh my god. That was so bad.
That final boss was just so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and the final, I don't know if you remember that, Perry, but the freaking, like, when you had to kill Alexia and, like, the babies kept hitting you and you couldn't shoot anything, that pissed me off.
Dead
Like,
Space pods.
yeah, pretty much. And, yeah, I mean, I can say Code Veronica, but now a lot of people say Resident Evil 4. Because believe it or not, I was looking at a few videos that were the most overrated games of all time, and Resident Evil 4 was always on the list. And that kind of confused me.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I grew up with this whole thing. 4, people overrate 4 or say it's overrated because it's a different game. They change the controls. It's still Resident Evil. Don't get me wrong, but they change the controls around. It's a little bit different. You're not feeling like, oh shit, I'm stuck in a laboratory, or I'm stuck in a house. You're just like, oh shit, what can I explore? What can I find? So a lot of people didn't like that type of atmosphere. So that's why they say it's overhyped. But now the same people that said it's overhyped love the game. So I don't understand it either.
Yeah, I mean,
I really don't.
And then, because it's kind of like back and forth, because then when I see RE4, then I see that RE5 was one of the most disappointing games in the past decade. And I don't know what that's based off, but I was looking at a few videos because I really wanted to see what they had to say, and their excuse was like, oh, the co-op, oh this, or like with RE4, it was like, oh, it's not that great anyway, or like it really got more than it deserved.
The main complaint was that like RE5 just wasn't as scary enough, and it's very similar to 4. So if you're going to dislike the entire game because of that, then you're very single-minded. And the reason people think Resident Evil 4 is overrated, they just can't accept the fact that Resident Evil has gone into a different direction, and yet all these people are giving the game high scores.
That's exactly what's going on.
That's it.
Nailed it right on the head. And what I liked about 5 was it was a reunion of the first.
Oh
exactly.
The first click. You know what I mean? Like
Jill,
you had everybody come back,
Buster.
even for the mercenaries mode. You know, it was. It made the series come full circle, and it should have probably ended there. To be honest with you guys,
That's what I thought too. I was thinking that too, because I was like, it doesn't really leave it open.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't really leave it closed either. So then they made RE6 or whatever, and then they made Chris this depressed fuck in a bar,
well, like the ending of 5 actually does close a lot of ties. I mean, you killed Wesker, who was the last remaining Umbrella antagonist. Like there were 5. And he was the last one.
Richard, he was supposed to be behind the scenes. He's not supposed to be on the front lines.
Behind the scenes.
Okay, Perry.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care who listens to this. I don't care if you listen to this.
By the way, one real quick thing about Code Veronica.
Yo.
Sure.
The person who leaves you notes in that game is a fucking rat.
Is a rat?
Yes.
What?
Rat.
Do you guys not know this?
I don't
A
think we
fucking mouse or a rat is the person who leaves all those documents behind for you. I'm not kidding you. Google it now and read it on the air. A fucking rat leaves you documents.
Are you serious? Like a rat?
I am dead serious.
Let me see it. Hold on. I not like I don't believe it, but I really want to see this now.
How do you guys not know this? You've done Let's Plays. You never read the fucking notes?
Now, fuck the notes.
Hey, and I just want to get something out there. For all you people out there.
Yo.
Play the games first. Don't listen to IGN, because those fucks are paid to fucking rate games. Listen to people online. Go to YouTube channels of people who don't rate games.
Always go for the underground people.
Yeah, or rent the fucking game from Redbox. If you don't have Redbox, buy it. You don't like it, trade it in the Best Buy. You're going to get a lot more money back for trading it at Best Buy than you would at GameStop. And I don't work for Best Buy anymore, so I haven't worked there in like 10 years, so don't worry about it. They weren't doing trade-ins back then.
I can't find anything on rats leaving notes. I tried, and I just see like cheats and like nothing.
Anthony,
comes.
look at the date.
What do you mean?
Look at the date.
Oh
no, I'm not doing that to you guys.
Oh yeah, it is April 1st, guys. So also
I'm not playing a joke. I'm dead serious.
Well, okay. Well, you heard it here first, then, and I didn't know that. So whether
why
it's true
don't
or
I
not,
look it up and then I'll give you the link.
There you go.
That's great.
All right, you could do that, and then we'll get to that. We'll transition, or we'll continue what I was saying, because like, here's the thing. Now, continuing on the overrated topic that we're on. I mean, I think like, okay, I love this, and I did a review on it, but I think Resident Evil 2 is a little bit overrated. Just a little. I love RE2, and I know that back then it was like the biggest shit of all time, the sequel, but I just think it's a little bit overrated. because Resident Evil fans, most of them say that that's their favorite. Like if they're older fans or more hardcore fans, they say that RE2 is like the best of all time, and I don't see that.
Well,
You know, it is opinion based, but I don't know.
I'm assuming that people really enjoyed the first game, and then the second game came out with all of these improvements and enhancements in the game mechanics. So then people chose that over RE1. And then RE3 came out, and I guess people were like, well, this is a little too similar to number 2. So they will choose 2 over 1 and 3. And maybe some people just started out with 2 first, and they have more of a nostalgic feeling towards it. I, for one, like
True.
3 and 1 better than 2. But that's not to say that, like... I wouldn't say that 2 is overrated, because...
Oh, you might be doing an LP on it.
Yeah, I might do an LP on it. It's tied with Resident Evil 3 right now, because I have a voting video up. So, yeah, guys, go
Check
vote.
that out.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
DIJ's journal. You find DIJ's journal in the slot machine in battle mode. Sometimes you have to play more than once to find it. Hint, DIJ's identity. The person who wrote the DIJ diary is the mouse that jumps out of the locker in the Antarctica section of Claire's scenario of the game.
He's right. Holy shit. You see this, Richard?
Fucking mouse wrote the journals.
Let me see that.
This guy, go down to it, dude.
I'm going down. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot, but
Why don't you Google DIJ's identity then? And then y'all got like fucking 100,000 web pages coming up.
yeah, DIJ's journal.
I will do this later.
Well, it says he's right though. I'll put the link to this journal in the description, or like to this thing. We're not kidding.
Yeah,
He's
but
right.
any hardcore fan would know this because I knew this from years ago when I played the game.
There you go. See, I didn't know that, regardless of me being a fan, because I just didn't.
Code
No,
Veronica's
believe
not-
me,
not
I'm
my
too
cup
old
of
to
tea.
play April Fool's trick. I couldn't even think of that right now.
I didn't even know it was April 1st. Well, happy April Fool's Day, and if you guys I hope you guys had a good Easter. Not that like, if any of you are religious or not, but I hope you had a good time with your family.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so I hope everything's good with that. And yeah, so back on the discussion. Yeah, Code Veronica, I think we all agree on that, and RE2 a little bit. But I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Well,
that
let me answer that question. Even though I was looking this up while you were talking, I like the first game the best.
Okay.
Obviously, they want the 2 to be bigger and badder. That's why they scrapped it, and they redid it, and they made it on 2 discs
Okay.
to make it like the biggest adventure possible. Which is what you do. You create a franchise. They didn't go overboard. I think they did a perfect job making 2. And that's why I think people love 2, because it's just such a huge game.
Back when Capcom had brains, pretty much.
Yeah, and
I
but
think
for me,
2
I always just loved the first game. 2 was great, but I always loved the first game. And I
Yeah.
think 3 was a little throwback to the first game.
True,
So-
with Jill coming back, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was
Even
like-
though 3 wasn't supposed to be 3.
Oh, yeah, it was. I forgot to mention that in my review. Perry pointed out it was supposed to be a spin-off. And
That's
then they
why I
wanted
had
to
the
make
Nemesis title, and Code Veronica was actually supposed to be 3.
It.
but
Yeah,
something-
that was the plan.
Something happened where they had to switch it. You can Google that too.
I'm kind of glad that they switched it, to be honest.
Yeah, because Code
Straight
Veronica, I didn't want that to happen. And I mean, because RE3 is just such a fucking awesome game. I mean, it closes the Raccoon City chapter. You got Jill. You got, it's very emotional. It's very more personal for her, and I love the trilogy, man. I mean, that's why I did a review on it. And
Yeah.
will there be future reviews? Maybe.
Well, I think 3 was probably, to the majority of the audience, the weakest one. And I only
Probably
say that
3, yeah.
because it came out very late. It
September '99.
Yeah, I know that.
November
I know it
99.
came out like a year or
Yeah.
so after the other one, but people thought that the second one was it, basically, because nobody really went out and bought 3. It didn't do gigantic numbers, like the first
But
2.
And after the years, like, it became a fan favorite.
I
like,
think
fans
people were
deserved
just
it.
more concerned about that Code Veronica, because I was. And
that
believe me, guys, I ordered an import version of 3, and I got it in September of '99, and I beat that game in Japanese. I can't
yeah.
speak Japanese, but I don't know how the hell I did it, but I beat it. And
Oh,
then it
didn't
came
you,
out in
like-
November. I didn't even bother buying it.
Wait, didn't you say like you bought it off when Yahoo had auctions?
Yahoo had auctions. I thought I was buying like an actual import. The guy sends me a bootleg copy.
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
If you're out there, you fucking send him a bootleg, you asshole.
Yeah, the guy sent me a bootleg copy of it. I paid like $10 for that. I was like, oh, great. I'm getting an imported game that somebody doesn't want. The guy mails me a bootleg copy.
They didn't have pictures back then. They just had descriptions.
Yeah, well, I think he did have a picture, but
It was fake,
obviously
though.
it didn't show. Yeah, it was the cover of it because it said
Oh, okay.
Biohazard, The Last Escape. Yeah.
I have that too. I have that actual copy. Yeah, that was yeah, and I mean, I think if we're going to talk about over, we should do underrated. Underrated, I say remake. People don't give remake enough credit. That's an amazing game.
I
That
think
really is.
I love that game.
remake. I wouldn't say it's that underrated because a lot of people do like remake. That is a fan favorite.
But I don't hear it a lot though.
I want to say a big fuck you to Capcom and Nintendo or whoever for one reason. The Wii version, it doesn't
Same
pan out
thing.
into your screen. It has the fucking black bars on the side, and it drives me fucking crazy when I try to play that on there. I have to go and play the GameCube version, which fills up my screen, and it still looks like shit. But I appreciate that more than a black box in my TV.
Yeah. I would
Why
say
they didn't give you the option, I don't know. Go ahead.
I would say that one of the most underrated Resident Evils would probably be, and you might not agree with me on this, but Resident Evil Dead Aim. I like the ship level. I don't like
It has creepy atmospheres. I'm
if
not
you can
gonna
get
lie.
past like the first person mode.
The survivor effect, as they call
Yeah,
it.
like
the whole.
I like the exploration aspect of it a lot, and I don't know. I thought the ship was a really cool setting. The
You know,
game
it's
kind of it does go down a little bit once you leave the ship, and it is a very short game. But I think it's a lot better than what people say it is.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's average.
Mm.
I think the bosses are lame, and it's pretty much recycled stuff. The thing that makes it, and I agree, the atmosphere is really creepy, really effective. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know fucking Gaiden was on a ship, but who played that anyway?
Gaiden.
I don't think anybody owned that game.
I don't own that game.
Because
Yeah,
you know why that game was supposed to be the first game, then that got scrapped.
Yeah,
then
then that
Gaiden
got-
was
yeah.
supposed to come out, and then by the time that came out, nobody gave a fuck, and nobody even knew it was out.
Even the ending, it has Leon's a BOW. He's a fucking BOW
I don't even
because
think that game's canon.
it's not canon because Leon.
No, never.
Yeah, it's like Barry's on a rooftop and there's two Leons and he doesn't know which one to shoot, and he shoots Leon.
Leon, is that you, Leon?
And he ends up killing the real Leon. And at the end, like, the reason why you know is because he's like, all right, Barry, let's go home. And it zooms in on Leon's neck, and you see that he's bleeding green to hint that he's a BOW. And that's the ending of Gaiden. And I don't know who actually recorded that on YouTube, but thank you for playing through that game because I could never do
And
it.
it's amazing because Barry looks like Chris Redfield somehow in that game.
He does, actually. I just find it odd. Like, Barry's looking for... Like, they don't know each other.
Hey, you know what? Let's hijack this a little bit. Let's do the worst games ever.
The worst Resident Evil games? Yeah,
I
that's
say
actually
say
good.
that fucking Survivor game, hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm really happy you brought that up. That was cool because I wasn't really thinking of that. Survivor, I agree because I think probably a few people out there voted for that for me to do an LP. I'm sorry to say, but that game fucking sucks.
Don't even
Didn't
do
one
it.
guy
Don't waste
just
your
like?
time.
Didn't one guy just vote on Gaiden and Dead Space?
I think, yeah. I think he was an asshole. He just wanted to do it because I say, hey, vote on the Resident Evil game, and I don't really like doing. Like, I can't say don't do Survivor. Will I ever do it for like shits and giggles? Maybe. Maybe for like a comedy let's play or something.
Dude,
like,
just do a fucking review of it and move on.
True.
Do a 2-minute review.
Only do it if people vote for it.
Do the big farting noise at the end when you cut to black, and that's it.
Oh my god, that game's terrible.
Now, I actually downloaded that game, the Japanese version or something, because
Oh, yeah.
you could use the gun con with it.
Yeah, Columbine happened, and they banned the light
Yeah,
gun.
then all that bullshit happened, and you can't use guns. Meanwhile, it's a big, fat, gray fucking gun with an orange handle on the front of it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Let's be realistic. Although, what was cool about it with the gun con, when you hold the button down, your character runs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty badass. That's what I liked about it. But then when they released it here in the United States, you couldn't do shit.
Yeah,
it was
so
a horrible
people were
game.
like, what the fuck is this? My dad bought it. He gave up with the series. He stopped.
And the storyline sucked. Some guy just got amnesia. He was somehow
Yeah.
able to kill all these BOWs, these zombies and everything. And he's like, oh, I love the children.
Yeah, because he escapes with the 2 kids.
Yeah.
You fight like the tyrant at the end.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck this shit.
I beat it in
I
an
will
hour.
bring up the fucking. This is why I like Operation Raccoon City, because it's a better version of what we were supposed to get called Outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
And those games
I
were
was about to say
fucking
that, too.
horrible, just for the fact that you needed the Final Fantasy exclusive HDD drive, hard disk drive, which also ran you up about $180 at the time,
God
or
damn.
$100 or something like that. Nobody bought that shit. You could sell, actually, the FYE where I used to live at still sells them. They're still trying
Wow.
to get like $80 off of them. They're brand new,
Oh,
but nobody bought
yeah.
them. And they're fucking how old? Like 20
Well, yeah,
years
'cause
old.
you brought up the worst ones, and yeah, I was about to say the
I
Outbreak
went
series.
online with Outbreak. The loading times, because you did not have the hard drive, were fucking atrocious.
How long were they? Because I never played
Dude, I
online.
was waiting like 15 minutes just to get to the next room.
Oh my,
Oh my
god.
Because
I would've
you-
gave up.
Because you had to fucking connect with all the other parties that were in the room. And then one dumb motherfucker on my team threw a bomb and it fucking killed everybody.
Wow, that's great. Because see, we never got the chance to play online. I couldn't afford it back then, anyway.
Would you still need that external hard drive thing if you had a PS2 Slim?
Well, the thing is, that thing was an internal drive,
Ah,
so it wouldn't even fit in the Slim. And that's what a lot of people got mad about, like Final Fantasy adopters.
uh-huh.
Because they were like, oh, fuck, how do we get a new system and we can't use a drive? And Sony was like, sorry about that.
Wow,
Thanks, Sony.
Yeah, a lot of people...
Sony are assholes too.
Don't get me
Not just
started on
Capcom.
them.
Corporate assholes are corporate assholes.
Yeah, they
Corporate.
never got back to me about my vouchers. They told
The
me
expired vouchers.
they told me 5 to 6 business days. It's been almost a month.
Wow.
Thank you, Sony, you fucks.
And Perry, you can also plug your YouTube channel if you want. I'll put that in the description.
AOX episodes. I'm fat and ugly and I complain a lot. Thank you.
Nice.
There you go.
Cheappopodcast. Cheappop.net. Never mind.
Cheappop.net. That's the other podcast that my brother does with him.
Yeah, his brother's
But-
all right.
And the worst games. Yeah, it's probably that. I mean, I would say like Gaiden, but I mean, it's not even like you can't even play it. Like I can't. Like
Well,
I at least played Outbreak.
That must
and
mean it's one of the worst.
Yeah,
right?
if it's
It is one of the
unplayable, you
worst.
can't fucking use it.
I'd probably say it's worse than Survivor.
When
'cause
they
at
said
least
they were
Survivor
putting
you
out
could
on
play.
Game Boy Color, I was like, how the fuck are you going to play it? That's 2 buttons.
Yeah, like a port of the first one would make more sense because we already played it. But a whole new game with a story that they tried to put in the game. I guess they tried to make it. Well, they didn't really try to make it canon.
They
Hang on,
originally
my neck
tried to make the
hurts.
first one. You can see screenshots of like how it would have looked.
There was gameplay of it. It's on YouTube.
I sent
Yeah.
you the fucking ROM, Anthony.
Oh yeah,
The ROM is out. The ROM got leaked out. Some like millionaire guy bought it, and he leaked it on the internet. He said he
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
going to leak it, and he did.
I still gotta play that.
He looks like fucking... Yo, seriously,
Nice.
Wesker looks like fucking Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Awesome.
It's horrible. It's the worst game. But I mean,
Well-
it was never released, so you can't...
You can't really give it
Can't
shit.
really,
yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
Gaiden, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's horrible.
I would say, well, okay, so my list would be Gaiden, whatever, Survivor, Outbreak. I could say Outbreak 1 and 2, I'll put that into 1 because they're pretty much the same game.
It's the same game,
Um,
which was actually another controversy. Everyone got pissed off because they were like,
How-
oh, it has better controls and better characters. Ooh.
The characters sucked.
Yeah, I know that.
They were
But
characters.
that's what they considered, an upgrade.
Wait, so like how long of a gap were there between file 1 and file 2?
There was 1 year.
That's it.
If,
Yeah.
And it used,
if even, they look like the same people from the first one.
wasn't it released to promote the movie? Am I wrong on that? Because
No,
the text
but they
is
did
the same.
they did use the
Yeah.
font from the movie on the
And
box.
they did come with like tickets or like a
Yeah.
contest to win tickets for the movie.
Yeah.
And somebody got screwed on both ends of that deal. They got a shitty game and they got an option to be invited to a shitty movie.
Oh, if you're really open, I'm sure you'd probably get something out of it.
Maybe. I mean, who knows back then?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, I know that was like the 3 that I hate.
That's why.
the most.
That's why I like. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just gotta
That's
get this
okay.
in real quick. That's why I like Outbreak, because it was a game that came out previously, but
Are you
sucked
talking about Raccoon
ass.
City?
Yeah, Operation Raccoon City.
Mm.
It was like a better version of what was supposed to be Outbreak,
Yeah,
Done
and better
right.
online.
done
yeah.
the right way, and that's why I really like Operation Raccoon City, because I went through that fucking Outbreak bullshit, and this like redeemed that completely for me. So that's why I enjoy that game.
I'm sure there's several people who can agree. I doubt that there are people who can disagree with that, because like, you know, that it is the truth, because that was one where like you can have a team, you can play with, you know, it's not just one co-op partner, you can have 3 others, and it was, you know, it was
It was the
worked.
same fucking concept, only instead of having like actual survivors, like people, you are going in there to fucking fuck shit up and then leave.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like instead of good guys, you're bad guys. It was the same exact thing though. If you got bit in either game, you started to turn into a zombie. It
Yeah.
was the same exact thing, only Operation Raccoon
Yeah.
City done better. That's why I enjoy the game so much. Forget all
Well,
the
there you
other storyline shit that doesn't. Just the actual. That they
Gameplay.
actually went back
Concept
to
of
that.
it. Yeah.
They actually went back to that. I think that's why I enjoy the game so much.
Yeah, and you know, you can say that, like, which is cool, because I agree with that, but like you actually like live that online PS2 stuff. A lot of people can't relate, and I think that's like a problem, because some people are closed-minded and they don't think, like, I knew that this was pretty much a better Outbreak, because I remember how the online sucked back then. Like, I remember you know, just hearing about how the servers never worked, the fucking drive and shit. So hearing it from somebody who actually lived that out and like appreciates it so much more.
Well,
Endured
that's
it.
why I love Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I was at the beginning with the Outbreak crap, and I spent a lot of money on that game. I think it was $50.
Yeah.
And man, I was disappointed big time. I fucking played that game probably for like an hour or two, and I never played it again.
How many people went out and spent 50 again on the same fucking thing that came out a year later?
I didn't
on
even.
File 2?
I don't even think I bought Outbreak. I didn't buy Outbreak 2 because I got it when I worked at Best Buy. It was on clearance for like $4.99.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how bad it was. And we had a lot of copies too. For $4.99.
I'm pretty sure once the movie stopped, like, they probably went down big time.
No, they
as
went
well.
down because nobody bought it. Nobody was going to fall for that shit twice.
And I think that's, I mean, Capcom redeemed themselves with 4, but then look at them now. Anyway. Yeah, moving on. But I mean, another thing I would like to add to that list is probably Code Veronica, but I mean, it's not like it's the worst, but it's lacking a lot. So that was the last thing I wanted to say.
I think if anybody's going to complain about 4 or 5 not being scary, I think you got to go back to Code Veronica, because Code Veronica started off really good. Then you fucking meet this transvestite guy, and you're like, what is this shit?
I'm sorry, but the voice acting in that game just kills all of the scares for me.
The guy, even the guy mutating into the woman, while he's like doing the weird voices, why'd they need that character?
They thought
don't
it would
know.
be like disturbing, I guess.
You could have
Or-
had the girl be her own character, you know, and then you just chase the girl. Then at the end she becomes the BOW. Perfect storyline. A guy in there like, then you throw this.
Oh my God.
Okay, forget about it.
He's right, though. It
Killed
needs to be
It
said
killed the mood.
somehow.
It killed the mood for that game, and it started out great. And the rest of the game was pretty good. It's really scary and everything, but that one aspect killed that game.
Yeah, they could have explained the Code Veronica virus in a better way.
And the game is good. I'm not saying the game is shit, but if you're going to complain about anything straying away from horror, that's your fucking game right there.
Yeah, but yet then other people turn around and say, hey, that was an amazing game, and that's this. I mean,
Look at the first cutscene. It's like a helicopter shooting at a skyscraper while Claire's running through
yeah,
it.
exactly. If that's not out of character of the Resident Evil series, I don't know
And
what
she's
is.
Well, that
doing,
was
like-
a preview of the movie,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
actual movie. So, I mean,
There you go.
like
She's doing like Max Payne bullet time.
Yeah, and then you got the second movie where she's running up a fucking building. Or running down
yeah.
a building or whatever. What the fuck is that all about?
Yeah, hits the guys with the knives and
Just
shit.
forget it. Holy shit.
That was pretty much, that fell flat for me. I mean, I don't know. Other people disagree, but fuck it. I don't know what else to say on that.
I hate to tell you people this. I know you're Resident Evil fans, but the movies suck.
Mm.
Oh, a lot of my subscribers are great, so you don't have to worry about that. Because they know. They want to reboot as much
And
as...
let me tell you something. I'm not saying
time.
it because I hate I love Resident Evil. All right?
He does,
I played the
yeah.
first game in 96.
We didn't invite him on here and say, oh, yeah, just, like, talk and pretend you don't know. He knows.
You guys invited me on here to be a historian, basically.
Exactly.
I'm 30 years old. In 96, I played the first game. I didn't buy it when it first came out. My friend brought it over to my house. And we fell in love with that game. Me and my neighbor, we played it together. We fell in love with it so much, we went out and bought it. Like a week later, we went out and we each had our own copy of the game. And ever since then, we were hooked. And then me and my best friend, he went out. I went to Blockbuster Video the day the game came out in the fucking pouring rain on my bike. All right? And I lived probably about half an hour from Blockbuster. I rode my bike all the way to Blockbuster, had the lady hold the game for me, and I fucking rented the game. I mean, that's crazy.
So it's very nostalgic for you. I could tell, like, you have good and positive memories with that.
And when I had to return the game to Blockbuster, my friend who had bought the game, he had Claire's scenario. He was doing that scenario, and he goes, you know what? I won't be selfish. I'll give you Leon's disc. This way you can play that while I'm playing this, and then when we're done, we'll switch discs again. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So, I mean, ever since then, I was hooked on the series. It's great. It's an awesome series. I just don't like it going to shit, like with the movies. I think the movies are... Obviously, they have their own agenda.
They don't help.
They don't help with the series, but they're
Yeah.
action movies. They're not what the movie was supposed to be. And that's
Yeah.
fine. They have their own fans for that franchise, but as a Resident Evil fan, I just don't like them.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. And I wanted to kind of bring up something that is kind of what me and Rich were talking about before. Now, Perry, there's this person that doesn't believe that... Well, Richard, how about you explain? Because it did happen with you. So
Okay.
let's go into it a little bit and tell Perry what's going on with this opinion that this person has.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't want to offend anybody. Maybe secretly I kind of do, but he made a video talking about Albert Wesker from Resident Evil 5, and the whole video was him saying that he thought Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5 was a guy cosplaying as Wesker, and it was nothing like Wesker. He was saying that the personality was not Wesker's. He was saying that he was too over the top. And just because he had superpowers and that he wasn't behind the scenes, it wasn't Wesker.
Obviously, this person has never played Code Veronica or Resident Evil 0.
Well, the thing is, he brought up Code Veronica. He's like, yeah, I know he had powers in this game, but I'm excluding that.
Yeah, like that helps your argument, right?
And I commented, I'm like, why do you think this way?
You can't exclude it when the fifth game, in between
Yeah,
loading times,
I'm like-
tells you...
I'm like, why are you saying all this bullshit when you know that Wesker was indeed exactly like Wesker? Like, we've already established traits in the past where he's been on the front lines before. Like, he knows how to handle himself when he's actually out there in the action. But he's behind the scenes planning, and...
That's the whole point.
You know, one day he is going to fulfill his plan.
Exactly. And in RE5, he got up to that point. He finally had the Ouroboros. He was with the person he hates the most, Chris. He was finishing it. He was finally trying to pretty much global saturation, as he said. You know,
And,
Ouroboros
you know, like,
is the future.
I don't hate the guy or anything.
Yeah, nothing personally. This is
just like I kept making all these points, and he didn't know how to argue them back. And
Well,
he's like, I've already stated this in the video. I'm like, no, you haven't. You just been telling me this and this, but you don't back it up with anything. And the guy ended up saying, well, I'm not going to reply to any more comments and blah, blah, blah. You have your opinion, I have mine. Which is him basically just saying, I can't win this, let's just drop it.
Well, here's the deal. Here's something this guy needs to realize. It's not a knock on the guy.
Exactly.
But obviously,
what we're trying to
the
do.
Wesker character, as well as the other characters, have all quote evolved. You know, you have to
Exactly.
evolve characters to keep a story going. Obviously, Capcom did it. Look at the Resident Evil 6 trailer. I told Anthony that was Ada Wong. He's like, "No way, dude. That's totally a different person." And this kid fought with me until the fucking game came out. He was like, "Oh, you were right," because he thought it was a different person because she looks a little different.
I didn't realize it was Ada, but then my friend pointed it out. I'm like, "Holy shit, you might be right."
Yeah. So I mean, these characters evolve.
And the game takes place or 5 takes place in 09, and 6 takes place in 13. These characters evolve, and they also grow older.
Well, look at Claire Redfield. She was a young badass who grew into like Mother Teresa in the rest of the fucking series. You know what I mean? She wants no part of anything anymore. She wants nothing to do with that shit.
She wants to separate herself from the nightmarish Raccoon City.
She didn't help Leon in that CGI movie that came out.
But the thing is that Wesker, he was still the same guy. Like, he evolved a little differently in terms of appearance, maybe, because it was a new game, new hardware, and all that. And the game took place like later down the road in 09, but it was still the same personality and the same character.
It's the same guy.
Same personality.
I've been hearing rumors that Hunk, back when 2 came out,
it wasn't Jake. It wasn't Jake, God damn it.
There was
yeah, people were saying that.
There was a huge rumor that Hunk was fucking Wesker.
No.
And I was like, that made no sense because he was beheaded in the other game. And obviously that wasn't true. Like, it wasn't him to begin with. But people
back then, though. Yeah.
People have been talking about Wesker rumors forever. Finally, Capcom gave into it, and in Code Veronica, you see the fucker back alive. But it's not a stray because in Code Veronica, he's got superpowers.
Yeah.
Starts talking with that voice. He picks Chris up and tells him, "Hey, I want to take over the world." He tells him that in Code Veronica.
In Umbrella
That's the
Chronicles,
whole point.
He has his powers. In RE4 Mercenaries, he has his powers.
And I was just showing you
Umbrella
what
Chronicles
he can
is
do.
great. It shows you that how he gets his powers and shit.
It has all the retelling of the scenarios, but it also has like other scenarios that are original as well.
Exactly. And just to wrap it all up, because we got to watch our time here. It's the fact that like pretty much don't claim yourself to be a Resident Evil fan if 1, you haven't played all the games, and 2, you don't understand the story.
Well,
don't argue something you don't know anything about.
Anthony was pulling up a point, and I do agree with him, but he thought that this guy was basically saying all this shit because he didn't like RE5, and he has stated that he hates RE5, with the exception of Mercenaries. And he thought that he was trying to be a Resident Evil fan that only likes the older games and tries to come up with the most shittiest reasons to hate on Resident Evil 5 and 6.
Hence the term trying, because that's a big key word. You can't force yourself into a series.
I don't know what he was saying when he meant it was just a guy cosplaying as Wesker. I disagree. Really irritated me.
That's why we called it a reunion. Those are the characters that have evolved. They're right there. Wesker's there, Jill's there, Chris is there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the original.
Did the Wesker character evolve into a lunatic, like a nut? Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, that was the point. That was the plan.
That's the way that they wrote it. What can you do?
He was always a lunatic and a nut anyways.
You have a fucking problem, write to Capcom. Don't fucking argue with people on the internet. It's the way it goes. To be honest, I don't even know why I waste time with this guy. That's what he wants, attention, right? It's a fucking game. Enjoy it and play it. You don't like it. That's your opinion.
You're right.
True that.
But don't get mad when other people... Like, this guy doesn't like Operation Raccoon City. I'm not going to fucking sit here and say, "Oh, you're a fucking scumbag, you piece of shit. Why don't you like that game?" It's his opinion. He could do whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
I could like Halo, and he could like fucking Mickey Mouse Adventures or whatever. I
love Mickey Mouse.
Oh, God, that's the best.
It's just a difference of opinion. And if we all thought the same, then everything would be lame,
You're right.
But this guy obviously wants attention, so why are you giving it to him? Just say, you know what, that's fine, great.
I can respect an opinion as long as you can back it up, not make a shitty opinion.
Or you know what you're talking
obviously
about.
Couldn't answer and back it up. Not a knock on the guy, but anybody, if you can't back up shit, don't talk shit.
You're right.
I mean,
And
that applies to everyone, not just this one guy. I don't even know who the hell the guy is, but
exactly. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna end that there, and now it's time to go on to the questions. Now we have a fuckload, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna go over the time limit. But fuck it, we have no really limits.
I have
here.
no limits, so go ahead.
Burn through.
All right. Now, I do apologize ahead of time. I didn't mention in the video that we're going to be doing it with Perry, but Perry's going to answer them if he can, if he has an answer for him. So you get 3 different.
I'll give
answers,
you my
so
opinion based on the fact of the shit that I grew up with.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just give you that, and then the other guys will give you theirs.
Exactly. So just giving you guys a heads up for listening. Now, Chucky Redfield, he has a shitload of questions, but this guy's a long-term viewer, and he has Resident Evil 2 as his profile picture, so that's probably one of his favorites. So, okay, he said, what would be your most prized possession out of all your Resident Evil games? And now, he doesn't say who this is directed towards. I guess both of us, or all of us now.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we all
for
answer?
Me, okay, yeah. So for me, prized possession, well, it's probably... Damn, that is fucking hard, because, like, I'd say... Because I did have to rebuy the long boxes, my dad... It's probably the original disc that I have, the loose disc of the original long box version that my dad bought in '96 is probably one of the most, because it's so beat up it doesn't even play anymore, but it is just nostalgic, and that disc on its own, it's just something that is part of my life. It's part of what I grew up with, and that's why. It doesn't even have a case. I put it in the fucking director's cut case. I don't even have a case for it. I got 3 copies of the original. And that's one of them, and that's probably it. It's not worth anything because it's broken, but
it's just a lot to you on a nostalgic level.
Nostalgic level, and just that's what I grew up with.
Very nice.
What's up with Richard? You should go.
Probably, because I don't have any I don't really have big things yet. I mainly just have copies and games and stuff. But I'm gonna have to say Resident Evil 3 Black Label.
Oh, okay.
I love that game. I'm glad I have, the original copy back from the 90s, not the greatest hits version. Not just a shitty disc without any cases or anything.
Or a digital copy.
I have the digital copy too, but, yeah, I'm glad I have the Black Label physical copy. And, yeah.
All right, Barry, what about you?
Resident Evil Director's Cut, the double case with the Resident Evil 2 demo.
Oh, yeah?
One thing you forgot to mention in one of your other reviews, when Director's Cut came out, they added a nice feature called Auto Aim. And that helped me a tremendous at beating the game quicker.
I think I showed it in the gameplay, but I didn't talk about it.
Yeah, that was a big feature that was added.
Yeah.
That actually was pretty hyped up.
Sorry, guys, I'm human.
No, that's fine. But that's why I like that game. You got a ranged mode. It's great. I mean, for me, it's kind of a tie between that and the remake, but I'll go with my prized possession, Director's Cut.
There you have it, Chucky. Now, he has another question. What would you think of them making a DVD like Wesker's Report, but instead it explains the story between Resident Evil 2 and 3 and how they connect with each other? Well, I think it's too late for that, but if they did, that would be cool. Wesker's Report kind of did sum that up, on Wesker's side, but there was really no connection between 2 and 3. They kind of happened the same day, a few days later. I'd probably have to pass on that. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't mind as long as they can make it good.
What about you,
Mine just fucking look that shit up online.
There you
Connect
go.
the dots yourself, because obviously Capcom had no plan going into this, and you got to take it for what it is.
Yep.
You're right.
True.
And next question. Would you ever consider doing a Let's Play where you and Richard do the commentary together? Because from listening to your podcast, you guys work well together and are very entertaining. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, a Let's Play together. Now, I know what he's talking about, because there are people like Slow Beef and Diabetes. They do Let's Plays where, he has his friend just talk with him and they stream it. Or they just, he sees what he's doing. I don't know. That'd be on a Let's Play Let's Have Fun, probably. That Richard wouldn't be able to play co-op, but he would be just kind of tagging along, he's actually in the same
if
room.
Anthony
with me.
was to do a full game, let's say he he wants to do Resident Evil 5 on co-op, he would have to record when I'm on. So like if he's doing a co-op Let's Play, he's gonna have to wait for me to get on as well, and it might take a little bit longer when he can just like burn through the game himself and stuff. I don't know. Like I'm all for the Let's Plays and Let's Have Funs. I would say yes if you ever asked me, Anthony. But
I'm sure, because he's talking about like the commentary. So like you could just be like, if I'm like, yo, Richard, I'm just gonna like fuck around with Survivor. You want to just be a commentary, just make fun of it?
Yeah.
Because that's what Slow Beef and Diabetes do, which are one of the originators of the Something Awful Let's Plays. So yeah, there you go. I mean, that's maybe one day. I don't know. It's too soon to tell. And then he said, "What are you and Richard's most memorable moments from the original Resident Evil series, including 1 through Code Veronica?" I'd say Nemesis appearance and the Raccoon City destruction in 3.
I don't know. I guess just roaming the mansion for the first time, trying to get my head around it.
What about you, Perry? Because he said me and you, but you're here. So what do you think? Like, what is the most memorable that you're just like, man, that's what I think about when I think of Resident Evil?
To be honest with you, and it sounds crappy now, the opening cutscene for the first game.
I can see that though. Like
when you play that game for the first time. I mean, this was back when it was brand new.
True.
You were watching a fucking movie on a gaming disc, and we were like, "Fuck, this is crazy."
That could have creeped people out too.
It did.
I mean,
I know it's not as good as like the crows breaking through
now.
the window and shit like that or whatever, but when we saw that for the first time, we were like, "Wow, this is what our PlayStations can do." I mean, I mean, you go back now, it's shitty dialogue and all that, and it's kind of campy and goofy. But back then, it was some serious shit. This was PlayStation saying, hey, we're here and we're going to be a player. So, I mean, just not even with PlayStation or Resident Evil. I mean, if you didn't have that opening cutscene, I dare say you might not have had a successful game, or people might have not have gotten into it as much.
You're right. That's right. That's cool. Awesome. Thanks, Chucky, for those questions. Now, on to the next one is by Pop000690. He says, "What's your favorite Resident Evil apart from RE3 Nemesis?"
Ooh,
that's a good question. I guess he's talking about me because that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Okay. The first game.
Nice.
Because that's it. That's me right there. When I was a kid, that's me. All right, so thank you for that. That's cool because people know RE3 is like my personal favorite. So that's cool that you wanted to see what else. Awesome, yeah. First game for me. Mark Main. I think he has a few questions. He says, "Do you think the next CGI Resident Evil movie should be during RE4 with Wesker and Jill? Because during Ada Separate Ways, you saw Wesker, but where was Jill? Or during RE6 when she was recovering from RE5, would you like to see an Alice in RE7 or RE8 or the... Whoa, what the fuck? I gotta reread this. Wait.
You're never getting an RE8.
Do you think the next CGI movie... No, I don't think it should take place during RE4. Me and Richard said on the last episode we think it should take place after RE6 and cover plot holes. That's what we agree.
Yeah. I'd like to see a CGI movie covering Jill and her recovery. And
yeah, that's what he said. He said, or during RE6 when she was recovering from RE5.
Yeah, I would.
So we mentioned
I'd love to see a film on that. I don't really care for a film during RE4 because that's just what can you do for like an hour and a half of a guy sitting in a chair,
And no, we wouldn't want to see Alice in RE7. Okay.
No.
Fuck
RE8. No.
And no CGI films either. Okay, and he has another one. He said, "Would you like to see these future Resident Evil games? Wait, would you like to see these future Resident Evil games? Resident Evil Dead." Okay, so he's saying, "Would you like to see these games?" And then he puts the following: Resident Evil Dead Aim 2, Operation Raccoon City 2, Revelations 2, or any other sequel to the Chronicles of Resident Evil Outbreak File 3.
No, no, and no.
What he said.
Maybe a Revelations 2 because the first one was really good.
But don't call it Revelations 2.
That's don't build a Revelations.
But a concept
Revelations
of a
sub-series.
sequel. Like a concept of a sequel. Yeah, that would be cool. No, we're not being a dickhead or anything.
I can think about like potential sequels for this, and when I think about them, it's like, oh, this is going to be so amazing. Like I can just think of a sequel to Raccoon City 2 that fixes everything from the first game and has exactly what I want from a game like that.
But they couldn't do anything with that.
They wouldn't do it, so...
And a thing that I think, he said a sequel to Chronicles, which I kind of like laughed over. I'm sorry. I wasn't... It was just... I thought it was funny that you were listing all of these, because it was odd, but it's still funny. Yeah, Chronicles, yes, I'd like to see a sequel.
I love Operation Raccoon City, but we don't need a second one. What could you do with that? I mean, you really can't do much.
Raccoon City 2 using the Fox engine.
Oh. Well,
all that attention to detail and squad commands and just, doing these epic missions.
Would reinvent, it would pretty much, any bad taste that people had from the first one would go out.
Yeah.
That would be,
and it's a spin-off, so you can try anything you want.
You're right, but they won't do that, unfortunately. Nope. But thanks for your question. Kid
Icarus.
Namatin. Whoa.
Just say, yo, kid.
Yo, kid guy. Okay, he has an NWO picture. Alrighty. So, there you go. How would you feel if Capcom made a Resident Evil before or after game where you play as an officer or a detective for RPD? Would you would probably respond to cases before RE1 and the preceding months of the when the virus spreads. So it's pretty much saying like an officer that like was going that went to the crime scenes of the reports before RE1,
and then,
which is it's kind of cool. In the Biohazard movie that we were talking about earlier, the independent film, in the trailer, you actually see Wesker go to a crime scene of those murders that happened in the woods, which is interesting.
Reminds me of LA Noire.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
There you go.
You're never going to see that because they can't tie the rest of the elements to it.
But how would we feel? I don't know. I wouldn't like it because I think that's something that like a book would like to cover. Maybe a CG film, even.
I don't really care for it.
Can I just rant on this for 1 second, since he has an NWO picture?
Go ahead.
Hey, brother, it's Hulk Hogan. You see, brother, they find the dead bodies on the floor, and then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash run out with the NWO and beat up Wesker and all the other guys.
Right. There you go. If you're a wrestling fan, I got that one, but they.
Well, that's for the NWO guy.
Applauded.
That's for the NWO guys. Okay, kid, we're gonna call you kid. Mark Main returns with more questions.
Nice.
Now I didn't play Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS, but I saw playthroughs, and I will get the HD version. My question is: at the end of Resident Evil Revelations, spoilers.
No,
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't read that.
No, don't do it because I didn't even fucking beat it yet.
Exactly.
I didn't even play it. I've had it for a year. My DS. I never played it.
I'll go to the next guy that I think we said last time. I couldn't understand what his name was, but he pretty much says, it's in another language. But he says, hello, Stan Profile, original YouTube Dave. So Stan Profile, nice. Thanks for putting that there. What do you think of The Last of Us and Metro Last Light? The Last of Us looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, but those are cutscenes.
But like the game itself looks good. The gameplay they showed looks fucking
amazing. Same old shit.
Game looks cool.
So they said the same thing about a game called Heavy Rain, which is worth $1 now.
Oh, you're right.
Heavy Rain was cool.
I don't know what. I have no idea what Metro Last Light is. I have no idea.
It was a sequel to Metro 2033, which was this very subpar shooter that took place.
Oh, right. Okay, I played that game.
Yeah, I don't care for Metro Last Light at all, and Last of Us. Whatever. It looks cool, so yeah, I'll try it eventually.
Okay, and then he returns with one last question with a vengeance. He says, Mark Main says, "Man, I don't want a Resident Evil reboot or remake. Bring survival horror in RE7. Do you agree with me?" Yes, I do. Are you get Curse of Chucky? What? Are you get Curse of Chucky? Tell me your thoughts and ideas.
Curse of Chucky.
He says, "Are you get Curse of Chucky?" What is Curse of Chucky?
Is that like a sequel to Seed of Chucky?
Can somebody look that
They're
up?
rebooting that movie, so there's no sequel.
Is it called? Can somebody look that up, real quick?
I'm not looking that up. I'll answer the question about 7 though.
I'll look up while Harry answers.
Answer that question.
If they
Richard-
do make 7, they need to just stick with one set of characters and that's it, and stick with one storyline that makes sense. If not, if they can't do that, which I don't think they can, just squash it, and get rid of it. Reboot it.
yeah, I agree.
I could play the first
And
game over 1,000,000 times. I don't care how they do it, how they make it, how it looks.
as long as we got.
And let
the
me
true
tell you something, they did a
characters-
hell of a job with Devil May Cry, so don't run to the fucking thing crying yet.
Me and Richard still have to play Devil May Cry, but I'll take Perry's
Great
word
fucking
for it.
game. It's a lot better than the original Devil May Cry.
It
It
looks
actually
really
has
good. I
fucking
want to try that.
grunge and dark elements to it. It's fucking great.
Richard, anything on this?
Yeah.
Curse of. Is it a movie?
As of March 2012, there are plans for both a 6th installment and an official reboot of the franchise. On June 23rd, 2012, it was confirmed that a 5th sequel to Child's Play will be made under the title Curse of Chucky and be
What?
released
Wow, there you go.
direct to video.
Why are they making another one when they just reboot it?
I'm not the biggest fan of Child's Play, so
Neither
I
am
don't
I.
really care for it at all.
So you know what we think, guy? It fucking sucks.
yeah.
Brad Dourif is a great voice actor, but I just, I don't care.
Yeah, he is. I love his voice.
Think you can fuck with me?
Yeah, stupid fucker. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mark Bain, for your a shitload of questions. That's what I love about you guys. You guys ask so many questions. That's what we want. Yeah, I'm sure. All right, never mind. My bad. 7751 James asked a question. What is your favorite Resident Evil boss? Nemesis.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with Nemesis.
Oh yeah, he
Fucking
can't fuck with
guy
Nemesis,
chased
man.
you all over the place. You can't-
Yeah, me.
Yeah, Nemi.
Nemi.
Type 2 was the shit with the tentacles. Well, I remember when my dad saw that guy fucking knock down the door, he shit himself. He jumped through the roof. He was like, holy fuck, he can knock down doors. And yeah, he chased you through that the whole fucking game. All right, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm sure. And he's a recurring viewer as well. I'm sure all you guys
He's a
are.
recovering
but, you know,
drunk? What?
A recurring viewer.
Okay.
Hello, yeah, I'm sure.
Helly, what's up? And he says, I wish I had better questions to ask you guys, but here they are. Who introduced you to Resident Evil? My father.
My friend Billy.
My friend who passed away a couple of years ago, Jay Dean.
Yeah, there you have it. What's your favorite version of Mercenaries? Mine being RE3 and RE4. RE5.
RE5.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But RE5, that was so fun. I know RE3 was where it came from, and I love that one, but RE5 was so fun.
What was the question?
On co-op. What's your favorite version of Mercenaries? His was RE3 and RE4.
I like RE5s, but it's a tie between that and the extreme battle mode from the DualShock Resident
Oh.
Evil 2.
Okay.
Because that had some fucking scary music on it.
You're right.
The main menu, and it was pretty good. And you could play as Chris, Resident Evil 2, when you
There you
weren't
go.
really supposed to. But it's a tie between those.
There you go. And he says he has one more question. Do you really think a reboot is all that bad? I don't see where else the series could go. Thanks, guys. Keep up the amazing show. Well, thank you, yeah, I'm sure. I appreciate you returning and watching and supporting us.
Thank you very much.
We pretty much explained that. Perry kind of made it more clear to us. He's saying that, look, there's not really much that can go, and it won't really be that bad. And Perry even mentioned things that that are beneficial that it can
You finally
bring.
get that
And-
Resident Evil 2 remake that you all want.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a question that's coming up soon that will address that. But thank you, yeah, I'm sure. I really appreciate that. And the next one is by Blank Trey. He says, who's your favorite character? Jill Valentine for me.
Jill Valentine.
I'll go with Jill.
Yeah, she's just the OG, and she's, you know,
Oh, Jelly Bean.
yeah.
I think
Pretty much.
Leon's overrated.
I agree.
Let's talk about this real quick.
It's the hair.
He was such a fucking nerdy guy in the second game. He couldn't keep Ada under check. He was like, Ada, wait!
Ada, wait!
Yeah, he
Wait.
fucking survived at the end, but barely. He was a fucking nerd. And then in 4, he comes back with this long hair in his face. He's like, yeah, I'm cool now.
He's got that
And
Backstreet
he's
Boy
like,
haircut.
Ada,
man.
hang on.
So chill in that game. It's like, yeah, there's this giant monster in front of you. Monsters. Guess after this, there'll be one less to worry about. Because that's what
Yeah.
I would say, right?
That's what I was saying when you're in Europe, in a deserted area, looking for the president's daughter.
Yeah, and he
all
tries
this
to be
shit.
he tries to be all hard in the second game, and he just can't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they wrote him differently. I guess different writers and stuff. Well, this guy's profile picture is Leon, so I think we just lost the fan. No, I'm kidding. His second question was, do you know how to get the secret costumes in REDS? No, I don't. Oh, wait. Is he talking about...
Deadly Silence.
Oh, Deadly Silence.
I have that game.
To bring... don't you get the key when you beat it? Because I beat it on the DS several times.
Yeah, I think when you beat on the DS, you get everything, as long as it's under 3 hours, because they don't want you to do a lot of crazy shit in that game.
There you go. Now, Blank Tray, you might have not beaten it under 3 hours. I think that's why. Now, if not, I'm sorry, but try to look it up. Somebody
There's
knows,
also
and
Google.
that's probably it.
So,
There's also Google, yeah. It just, if you don't know, but that 3 hours thing is true. He says, how do you feel about, this next question, how do you feel about RE Revelations? Well, none of us have actually fully played it.
yeah. I
but
played about 5 hours of it on my friend's 3DS, and it was a lot of fun. On
I
the
played like the
3DS.
first chapter.
I played
Yeah.
the demo, I have the game, I opened it, I was going to play it one day, and I just never got around to it.
And you, well, also I want to mention, Perry has Revelations,
Yeah.
right? You have the misspelled
I have the
one.
box, and unfortunately, I opened it, so it's probably not worth as much now. But I do have a sealed copy of black labeled Resident Evil 4 for PS2. Probably not worth shit now, but I have that game sealed.
All right, and there you go. So yeah, we're looking forward to the port or the transition to the consoles.
Looks interesting.
So thanks. Spartacus 3977. Spartacus
What?
39. He says, "Aunt, how much money have you spent on your collection?"
It's nobody's business.
A lot. Let me just say that. To both, if you guys had to choose one meal to eat every single day for the rest of your lives, what would it be? And be specific. No lame answers like pizza or burgers. So that's a fancy question. I like that.
You can't really choose one food because then after a while you're gonna get sick of it anyways.
True, but let's just say in an unrealistic manner.
Okay.
I'm kind of a healthy eater,
Uh-huh.
to be honest. So, chicken Caesar salad.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, I mean, you got your chicken, you got the salad, you can add some dressing on that shit.
Can I choose like different kinds of food?
Yeah, he says no lame answers like pizza or burgers. Mine's pretty specific. Chicken Caesar salad with like ranch or French dressing.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty badass.
Let's see. Pork, ribs, bacon, lots of meat. I like meat. I like salad too. I like fruits and vegetables. I like everything.
It kind of makes you think.
I don't know.
What about you, Perry?
On the junk side, not really junk, but it's got preservatives. I would have a turkey, white American, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, on a hero or a wedge, or if you're from Florida, a hoagie. Healthy food, I would have chicken breast tenders, unbreaded, with lemon on it.
There you
Because I
go.
actually lost 80 pounds from that shit, legit. So
I remember that.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Richard, if you were offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be in in
Charge?
of... He puts like a weird like dash thing.
Okay.
Development. He's development of a Resident Evil game or get $5 million in your bank account. What would you choose? So you're saying, would you if you had the chance to offer it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to develop a Resident Evil game or get $5 million, what would you choose?
The $5 million.
Take the fucking money. Nobody wants to develop all day.
Listen, if I take the $5 million, I'd be set for life, and I would make the best Resident Evil movie ever.
There you go. And he says to both, have you guys ever heard about the new zombie arcade game called State of Decay?
No.
No.
Nope.
No. Nope.
Nope. All right, and then he gave us a link to the video, but he said fast forward to 1 minute, but sorry, we'll check that out another time though. This one is by Blind Man SG1. He says,
Blind man?
Blind Man SG1. He doesn't type like he's blind, so I guess that works. Except for Jill, who we all agree needs to be in more games, and are there any? Okay, wait.
You guys answer.
So we'll
you
go to
guys
the
answer these
first one.
questions. I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Okay. Except for Jill, who? Okay, so who do we all agree needs to be in more games? Hunk, Claire, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I like to see Jill return, but characters that haven't, so
Hunk.
Hunk and Claire. And he says, are there any other Resident Evil 3 characters that you would like to see brought back?
Carlos.
Carlos, because
I like Carlos. I like him a lot.
I do, and their relationship never really, like, not as like a relationship, but like they saved each other's lives.
Yeah, they
got out
developed
of a crisis.
They developed a close bond with each other. I mean, remember when Carlos went up to her after the Nemesis fight at the clock tower? He's like hugging her and shit. It's like, no,
it's
Jill.
just they just escaped a nightmare that like they couldn't have done without.
Mm-hmm. They needed each other, and we never heard from him again.
Yeah. Do you think next one is? Do you think Code Veronica should have been a numbered title?
No.
In this case, RE4. Well, it was originally supposed to be RE3. So no, I don't. Think
All right,
so.
wait a minute. What did I miss? Let me get my answer for that. Who needs to do more games? Barry Burton.
Barry Burton.
What's the question after that?
The question after that was, what is there any characters in RE3 that you would like to see brought back? We said Carlos.
Yeah, probably. Nobody else really. I hate that fucking guy.
Nikolai?
I hate that guy in Operation Raccoon because he's Jeremy Irons' fucking wannabe. You know Jeremy Irons, Simon from Die Hard 3?
Scar from Lion King.
Yeah. Same guy. Jeremy Irons.
Oh, okay. And then he said, do you think Code Veronica should have been a numbered title? In this case, RE4.
No.
Yeah, no. And next question, he says, would you like to see them bring back the save rooms and typewriters?
Yes.
Yes. I would.
Maybe typewriters, because a lot of times when I play 5 and 4, well, 4 has typewriters. When I play 5 and 6 or whatever, I really want to stop playing, but you can't. You have to finish the level first.
Or get a checkpoint.
Yeah, as far as the inventory shit goes, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so thank you. Next one is by Legacy and Legend. You've seen him around before or heard of him. Hey, Rich and Ann, I have 5 questions for you. Here we go. What are your thoughts on other survival horror games such as Dino Crisis, Alone in the Dark, and Silent Hill? Very cool that you brought that up. Dino Crisis, I like Dino Crisis. I don't know about you two.
I watched a Let's Play on it. It looks really fucking awesome. Silent Hill, I have that on the PSN. That's a very great game. I beat Homecoming. I liked Homecoming. Not a lot of people did. Yeah. I really like Silent Hill and Dino Crisis. So
I like Dino Crisis. I beat the first game. The second game I rented, it was actually a really good follow-up. The second one, you could run and shoot at the same time.
It was, yeah. With the shotgun and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really good. It was. Let's compare it a little bit to the Resident Evil 2 of the Dino Crisis series. I mean, they did a pretty good job with that one. Dino Crisis 3 is horrid, and nobody should even remember that game.
I don't remember.
I saw gameplay for that one day.
Yeah, it's dinosaurs in space. You don't want that.
Yeah, they're not even dinosaurs. They're regarded as mutants.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, In my opinion on Silent Hill, kind of iffy. I think I beat the first one with Nick a long time ago. I don't
Silent
remember.
Hill. I beat the first game a long freaking time ago. The series has something going for it, and then
Well, it probably used to.
and
Before Tom
I
Hewlett-
actually bought the room number 4, and I thought, all right, I could get into this one. I just couldn't get into it, man. The controls are too fucked up, and I don't know how the newer ones
they
are,
fucked up.
but the controls in the newer ones are just horrible, and it has that fear and fright factor to them. I'll give them that. They make really good games. The other thing is, I just can't get with the opening 100 fucking doors and nothing's in any of the rooms deal, and
It's overwhelming.
yeah, and the controls. I mean, if it was like Resident Evil, where it's bam, 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 fine. But that game isn't really supposed to be like that, from what I've gathered from it.
There are so many
Yeah.
doors in Homecoming that are locked, and it makes you wonder why they're even
Exactly.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just to fuck with your
same
head.
with Silent Hill 1, dude. The school, I was done. There was so many fucking doors. I was like, I got these babies chasing me,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I was playing that New Year's Eve, and I'm going through the doors. I'm like, there's nothing in this room. Why am I here?
like, it was me and a few buddies. We were trying to play it again, revisit it after all these years, because I was just trying
Still
to.
a creepy fucking school, though.
It was still creepy, but it was just annoying, and we died, and we didn't feel like doing it. And Silent Hill, I don't know, I'm not really into it. Kind of jump around it a little bit. Alone in the Dark, never played it.
Yeah, I never
Never-
touched it.
Never touched it either.
All right, so next question, because we kind of don't want to spend too long on it, even though we have a fucking million to go.
Go ahead.
Who do you guys think makes better survival horror games, Capcom or Konami? Oh,
I definitely
nowadays though. I mean, or overall. I mean, that's
overall the Silent Hill series is a lot more scary than the Resident Evil series.
yeah. Because he's saying horror.
Yeah,
so, I mean, Konami.
I'm a lot more scared by the Silent Hill games than I am Resident Evil.
Konami.
I'll give it to Konami.
All right, Konami. All right, so third question: would you guys like to see Barry or Rebecca back in RE7 to see how they've been since remake?
Barry.
Not so much Rebecca.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But-
not so much Rebecca, but I wouldn't mind. You know what? Yeah, I would like to see them come back. I want to see
Sure.
Rebecca older, and I want to see Barry in a wheelchair. No, I joke, but yeah, I want to see them come back.
All right, next question. Maybe Wesker comes back as well and tries to get
No.
Jake to join him in World Domination.
That's when you're stretching the series out too far, and
Yeah,
that's
that
when you
wouldn't be
call
good.
for a reboot.
Wesker's
Sorry
dead.
about that, but that's just the way it goes.
Wesker's dead. I don't want to see Jake again.
Finally, would it be his fifth question? Finally, would it be okay if Capcom remade Nemesis for future RE titles? We already answered this.
Yeah.
No.
I don't mind as long as they can do it right, but they have to do it right.
And all right, thanks, Legacy. Thank you for always returning. Thanks for your comments and questions. This one is by Irish Eskimo. Okay, he says, "Will you guys be playing any games together in the future?" I mean,
Let's play and let's have
maybe.
fun.
Let's play. Let's have fun. But I think he's saying full on.
Oh, yeah, that's up to you.
That's whatever the fuck comes in my mind and what's going on and what's So thanks. So possible. We'll leave it at that. Hitomi Love, here we go. Hello, Aunt and Richard. These are my questions. He says, number one, out of all the BOWs, bosses in the Resident Evil game universe, which one would you say is the most neatest looking creature? Also, which would be your favorite? Choose one BOW and one boss. Okay. So, out of all the BOWs and bosses, what is the neatest looking one?
Wait, what's the question? Like,
That's the question.
Wait, he's
That's the
asking-
question of one.
That's just one.
is he asking for our favorite boss in BOW? Aren't
yeah,
they?
like what's the neatest, and then what's our favorite of both? So it's like a two-parter for one question, if that makes sense.
Wouldn't it be the same one though?
Wait, because they're both BOWs. Was it like BOWs as in hunters, dogs, the chimeras?
Why don't we just give this guy a boss type guy and a non-boss type guy? Maybe that's what he means.
Type 2 Nemesis looks badass. I love the tentacles. I had my one of my recent friends, well, used to be my friend, drew like a really fucking awesome Type 2 Nemesis picture for me.
Burn that picture.
That was, yeah. No, but I mean, it's really cool. I like Type 2 Nemesis, and he's the neatest looking one. And my favorite is Nemesis. But a regular BOW, I hate them, but the hunters look pretty badass with the claws and shit.
Alrighty.
Badass. What about you?
The neatest looking BOW, probably Nemesis when he's in the trench coat. He's got the rocket launcher. And my favorite, like, mini boss, just a fight, I guess, would be the Liquor.
What about you, Ben?
I'll go with Nemesis as the boss, and probably the hunters.
Awesome. All right. This is a joke question. Second one. In the beginning of Resident Evil 2, when you first enter Kendo's gun shop, after you are done talking to him, you are about to leave the room. Kendo was attacked by a group of zombies. Did you guys notice he never aimed up?
Well, the fucking guy was being attacked. So what would you do? You have time to fucking look and aim real quick? No. You have fucking 10 zombies on you. What the fuck are you going to do?
I think we'll leave it at
If I
that.
was Kendo,
All
I'd
right,
fucking run away and shoot. But, of course, the guy was probably shitting in his pants while they were
It was
touching
all
him.
too fast in the moment.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, he says, out of all the files in Resident Evil universe, which one would you say is the most disturbing or most
Itchy
memorable?
Tasty.
Explain why. Itchy Tasty.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because that's disturbing, because he's slowly becoming infected, and he's slowly... It's like you're seeing the effects of this virus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most disturbing because when you first play the game. Now, when you, like, go back to it, you're like, okay, it's nothing, but, yeah, exactly. So...
They look like gorillas without any skin. They
Yeah,
toy
exactly.
with-
Shit like that,
Rip
like...
the pig's limbs off.
Yeah, like how descriptive that is, man, that is fucking creepy. Okay, fourth one is, I know you guys like Jill, just like most of Resident Evil fans out there. I'm also a fan of Jill Valentine, he says. Which Jill, or should I say, which overall appearance do you guys like the best? Original, remake, RE3, RE5, Resident Evil Revelations. Miniskirt, RE3.
Miniskirt RE3. Are they all Are they all
Resident
Julia
Evil 1,
Ross?
the Donald Duck type looking thing.
Um,
Ray on her head.
well, no, it's original, remake, so like...
Like,
Yeah,
is he
yeah, you
talking
have
about,
Julia
like, our
Ross.
favorite costumes, or...
Yeah, like, appearance, I guess. He just says appearance.
Huh.
I'd say RE3 regardless of Julia Evolve. I mean, the model, I prefer Julia
Well,
Evolve.
she has the same outfit in Remake with Julia Voth, so...
Well, then boat. I don't know fucking know.
I'd probably have to go with BSAA for my favorite.
Oh, I love BSA.
I love that.
That's kind of hard now that you mention that. Oh, whatever. What about you? You like the first one, Perry?
Yeah, I'll go with the first one and the remake or whatever the fuck. BSAA is kind of like the same thing, but it's a little different, modified. Yeah, I'll go with that
Yeah.
shit. The blue look.
I also don't mind her sneaking suit from Revelations, going all Metal Gear Solid.
There you go. All right, question number 5. As you may know, I am a big fan of the first 5 games. I kind of like 4, but it was the first game that started to change the direction of where the series was going. Starting from Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Deadly Silence, there are puzzles featured only in the DS version, Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 2, 3, Code Veronica. Which puzzle or puzzles, if you have more than one, you guys had difficulty solving? I'd like to hear your thoughts. That's a pretty good question. That's a lot of games, though.
Difficulty. I know. The fucking water pump puzzle from RE3.
The water sample?
Yeah.
I have to agree.
Water sample, sorry.
The water... I have to agree because, like, now I can do it no problem, but back then, holy fuck, I needed a guidebook.
Mm.
What about you, Perry?
Can't really remember many, but if you guys say the water thing was hard, then it was probably hard for me too.
Oh, there you
I
go.
just can't.
So,
The first game, you could kind of figure that out on your own. You really don't need a guidebook. I would say maybe the crates that you
No,
push
but
into the water in the
It's
basement.
impossible without the hint book.
Yeah, that's possible, but the thing is, it just takes so goddamn long.
yeah, there was a review, Gaming in the Clinton years. You can look it up, Perry. This guy...
He's like, Resident Evil is
Navigator.
impossible without the hint book.
It was like a seriously public access TV
Yeah,
show.
no, it is not impossible. I beat the game without a hint book. I got the hint
exactly.
books when they fucked up on Director's Cut and gave me some extra prizes there. But
Laura Croft should
Yeah.
get breast cancer.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the things. We'll get to that one episode. We'll have free talk about him. This is a person that this is like a company, not a person on YouTube, by the way. Okay, he says, continuing from the previous question. Also, I would like to hear which puzzles you guys have the most memories of. For example, if I'm playing a Resident Evil 2, I would think of the chess pieces are also a part of the keys.
how the fuck was that hard? You just collected them and stuck them in the slot.
Well, it's memorable, though.
How's that memorable?
It's not the
It's like
fact that
finding the
it's-
key and opening a door.
I guess
I'm
for...
gonna have to go with something similar to Hitomi Love. In Resident Evil 1, when you have to find all the crests, and that's not hard now, but back then when I was younger, and I was just exploring the mansion for the first time, trying to find these fucking crests so I could put them in the fucking thing, so I could go through the guardhouse. Yeah, that was pretty memorable.
Me, RE3 getting the cable car parts.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember of anything like that. The only thing I know is, obviously everyone knows this. If you don't get that serum in time, that guy dies. And if you didn't know the mansion the first time around, he probably wouldn't get that serum in time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the easiest thing to do now, but I don't know if I ever fucked that up. I'm not even sure. I might have done it on purpose.
He dies either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sixth question. I know you finished pretty much all of the Resident Evil titles, at least for the first 5 games, which I love, and Resident Evil 4, which was your first LP on your channel, on this channel. Would you be recording another LP of Resident Evil, for example, Resident Evil Remake, once again? You may not know, but after you finish the game for the first time, you could load your clear game file and do once again.
That invisible mode or whatever?
When you attempt, well, just a harder mode. You could turn on the invisible enemies. That's
Yeah,
like
but who wants to see a fucking Let's Play of the same exact game, only hard?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Hitomi Love, because, like, a different perspective. Now, I could redo that with Chris, because that is technically a different style of game, but that would be down the line, and I again, that's still up in the air. But, will I revisit Remake? Possibly, but with Chris, not with, like, Jill. Not on a once again, though. Like, I'll revisit RE2 and do Claire B, maybe, but that will be in the future. I still have a little bit I have in mind, but who knows. Continuing from the previous question, he says, would you do an LP for Remake on Chris's game? Yes, I just answered that. Sorry, I didn't see that. Then there will also be an invisible mode where all the enemies, including bosses Lisa Trevor, LOL, are invisible. There is also one dangerous zombie mode where Forrest comes back to life to haunt Jill and Chris for the first half of the game. You cannot shoot him, use defense items against it. Wait, what? Really? That's a mode?
I don't even know, dude. I beat the game, I unlocked all the modes, and I was like, see you later.
One dangerous zombie mode?
Yeah.
I guess that's a mode, and he got these explosion grenades on him, so you must run from him. I had no idea that was a mode.
I think I heard about that, actually.
Is that in the Jap version, or is that like you have to beat the game in like 40 minutes? Like, what the fuck kind of... like, what do you have to do to get
I heard
there?
about something with bombs on somebody exploding.
Maybe a Let's Have fun fuck around video. I don't know.
This is the second time Hitomi Love has gotten us.
Yeah. Pretty much. Resident Evil, the first 5 titles, his next question, number 7, was in his 7th question. Resident Evil, the first 5 titles, is a survival horror series. We all know it is no longer survival horror. Even Capcom mentions survival horror is not making them any money. However, my question is, though out of the entire Resident Evil series, are there any specific places that would give you a disturbing feeling, or should I say, just don't feel safe, or something is watching you? You could feel something would just pop out of nowhere and attack you. Which place would it be? So, like, a setting of a game? I don't know, maybe more city-like. Like, not like RE6, where, like, it kind of danced around the city, you had the closed air. Kind of like a kind of deserted city, where it was, like, I don't know, maybe, like, the virus doesn't hit right away, and there's, like, I don't know, I don't really... That's
Is he talking about a setting that you or we have in mind,
Scary.
or a setting from the games already?
Just that we have in mind that would feel disturbing, apparently. That's all I see. I have no idea.
Any... I don't know. Any place can be creepy if you make it effective.
A hospital.
Hospital would be pretty creepy or disturbing.
Like, I know RE3 did it, but, like, behind the back.
Yeah,
like,
RE3 didn't really have, like... It had a hospital, but it wasn't...
some weird Ju-on, like, grudge shit going
There's
on.
also
It's
a school that could be that could work. Asylums.
Disturbed.
Yeah.
What about you, Perry? What's a place that would creep you out that you'd like to see in, like, Resident Evil, pretty much?
When I was a kid, when Resident Evil 2 came out, I always thought of my school, just like this kid said over here, because my school had a long staircase from the back of the school to the front of the school, and it was outside. So I thought, man, what a great game this would be, a Resident Evil type game. You had the Romero. My school was huge, though. I mean, it was like insane how big it was, and there was so many like Resident Evil-esque elements. But I think that you can just do it anywhere. Like the guy said, Richard said, you can just, as long as you can make it feel scary, you could do it anywhere. Not a big deal at all. You don't need to be in a graveyard or nothing. You could make anything fucking scary just with some sound effects and shit. And I think maybe a little bit. There was a movie called The Crazies. It was a remake a couple of years ago.
I saw that.
Yeah. Wes Craven,
I
right?
think, I don't know who it was, but I think On the Run, that is some scary shit too.
That is, yeah.
Because they were on the run, they were trying to get a car, they're just running through the whole fucking town.
Mm-hmm.
The original was better.
I think that, original is always better. But I think that something like that, maybe, On the Run a lot, that would be fucking scary. Because you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You got to keep going straight or you're done.
And there's just that feeling that something's behind you.
Yeah, well, you're running, I know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, in that movie, there was no happy ending. You thought they made it, and then it was like, oh, we're going to fucking nuke the city now. The next city that they just got into.
Damn. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that a while ago. But thanks. He has another one, his last one.
Alrighty.
If you have more than one place for... Oh, it's continuation.
Oh.
He says the basement on the RPD in Resident Evil 2, or when Salazar sent his right hand after Leon... Oh, that was creepy.
It was.
That part in the sewer was very disturbing, in my opinion. That would be... okay, he said, you know what I mean? Yeah, I get what you're saying. We already answered that. But he said, I love that feeling. He said, like, come on, Mr. Right Hand would caught up to me and attack me. It's the most intense if you are near death. Yeah, I understand. Thanks, Atomi Love, though. Thanks for the... I didn't notice it was a continuation. I thought it was another one, but thanks. Thanks for coming by and always supporting me. Next question is by Protonic Gaming HD. He says, question 1. What would you like Resident Evil 7 to be like? Kind of explain this. Maybe something that covers up plot holes, something that is original and not too cheesy.
Just, revamped gameplay, a great story, and more of a personal feel towards the characters.
Go back to the controls of RE4, RE5. If you do a story, forget all the shit that happened before it and move on.
There'll be plot holes, but don't waste time explaining.
Don't waste time.
It.
Do it fucking 10 years later. Like Resident Evil 4. There's so much shit in between 3 and 4 they never covered. Right? They just said that they did.
Yeah.
But just fucking do it and just forget about all the other shit. Focus on a character that hasn't been around in a long time and do it. If not, reboot it. That's my opinion.
There you go. Next Gamer, thanks for that. Next Gamer 19 says, what inspired you guys to play Resident Evil? My dad. We kind of already said this.
My group of friends.
Yeah, my friend that brought it over.
Yeah. So we pretty much all knew people or family members of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks. Second question, do you think they should make a Resident Evil 6 DLC of Jill? Because where is she? And she disappeared into the air, LOL.
No, you should not give those people any more money for DLC.
No.
They gave you a shitty game, don't give them no more money.
They gave a shitty versus mode too. I didn't even bother with those fucking achievements. They pissed me off.
Yeah, as soon as that DLC came out, I was like, this
Dude,
looks
you guys
so
are getting
tacked
a
on.
game. You guys are getting a game called Revelations. There's Jill.
You're right.
Mhm.
There you
Yeah.
go. That happened between 4 and 5.
I
so
never
whatever.
bought any of the RE6 versus DLC. I did get
I
I
did,
got
sadly.
the maps because Mercenaries is fun in that game, believe it or not. But everything else, it just wasn't worth it. No, and like Perry said, Revelations.
Yeah, you're getting the game.
Yeah.
You don't need no DLC.
And he said, "What's the next thing you guys want for your Resident Evil collection?" I have a whole list,
Yeah.
and I'm really trying to get the Wii games out of the way, which are very cheap, so this will kind of be easy to get.
I have
Besides Revelations, but What about you?
I have a list as well. I want to get all the books out of the way. I want to finish my PS1 collection. Yeah, that's it for now. Books and my PS1 collection.
Perry?
I want to get Resident Evil on Saturn and call it a day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have a bootleg
This
copy
person-
of it. I have a Saturn mod chip, but I still want the original. And I saw it at this place about, I think, in 1998 or 99 or whatever. It was like $34 used, and I even thought that was a lot of money. Now they still want like $50 for it used. So I'm keeping an eye out for it. I'll probably find it again. I just bought Resident Evil. I bought 2 copies of Resident Evil 2 on Dreamcast, and one copy of Resident Evil 3 for Dreamcast. So those are out of the way. Those better graphic versions or whatever.
Yeah, I got a Saturn RE Saturn as a gift from ex-friend, and
Cunt.
she's the girls are dumbasses. Most of the
Only
time,
the
if
ones
they
that you
wanna
meet.
be. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I have a charmed existence. I have a charmed existence with that. I can't say I hate this person, but
I can.
they're a confused individual, and I just leave it at that.
Anthony?
I have nothing.
Fucking
3 years
idiot.
later, you're welcome.
3 years later, what do you mean?
Harry showed you the way, man.
What? I'm kind of lost
Like
here.
3 years later, like, because he probably gave you advice now that will come in handy in 3 years.
Yeah, that did kind of, but he didn't take it.
Oh,
Well, what do you? What?
Never mind.
Just
We'll talk
drop
about
it.
this later.
just drop it.
Resident Evil Saturn. That's what I want.
Back.
I got
questions.
it. This ex best friend of mine paid a lot of money for it. Got it for me as a Christmas gift this past Christmas, so I have
Good.
it.
At least you got something out of this stupid idiot. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And he said, "Thanks, guys. I love Resident Evil. It's a joy.
No kidding.
It's my
I
joy.
know you're here. You must love.
I will never stop collecting." No, that's what
I
he
will
said.
never
He said,
stop collecting.
That's what he. That's what he said. All right, thanks, Sex Gamer
Going
19.
to kill me.
That's a knee slapper.
Who is that guy?
Nick-
Give him a shout out.
Next Gamer 19.
Oh,
X Gamer 19.
I gave.
Next
I gave him a
Gamer.
shout
Next. Yeah, Next Gamer 19. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you
Uh,
for making me make a joke out of that.
Yeah, and bring up stuff from my past. That's cool. Nicktoons 125 says, "Which one do you guys think is better, Resident Evil or Silent Hill 2? Resident Evil."
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Why else would we
Do
be
you guys-
here?
Do you guys think Resident Evil 7 is if Capcom does it? What?
Guys, this Resident Evil 7 shit, it's like saying the Xbox 720. It's not happening.
And if it does, we gave you our opinion. What next play will you guys do on your guys' channel? Well, Richard is voting on Resident Evil. Me, I don't know. I'm on a
Me,
break.
Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yep. Perry wanted me to do it for years, and I'm still planning on doing it. So there
I
you
will
go.
send you a $50 check if you do that review.
Take it.
I'll send you cash.
Take it. Take the
There you
money.
go.
Go get a fucking a regular Wii, get Kirby's Epic Yarn, and do a review. Not a review, do a Let's Play.
You heard it here first. And okay, thanks, Nicktoons 125. Abo1199 says, how would you react if one of the main characters of the series died, besides Wesker, which are...
They already did that shit with Jill. They try to make people feel upset about it. You can't take it seriously because they bring everybody back. They did it with Chicken Heart. Nobody gave a shit about him anyway.
I would just be very disappointed or sad if they truly died.
If they killed off
I don't know.
Jill, I would be depressed.
Yeah. Be a half-beaten emo child. And question number 2 is, what is your most scariest moment in the series? Nemesis breaking through that police station window when I was a kid really fucked me up.
Nemesis chasing me in general.
I'd say it's the time between Nemesis just following you, because you just hear the door open and you see the guy running.
Yeah. You just hear boom, you don't even hear it open, it just slams shut.
Or the fucking dogs that jump through the window in the first game.
Oh, yeah.
Because you think you're exploring, and then you hear a crash and you're like, fuck, I better run out of here.
Wait, is this question out of all the Resident Evil games?
Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, when you're walking down the hallway in Remake and a Crimson Head comes up.
Oh, yeah,
I
those
don't
Crimson
fuck with that.
Heads.
Yeah.
I hate those fucking things.
But I just bring back to my
Those
childhood.
things scare the shit out of me.
I remember those fuckers killed me in Operation Raccoon City, and I fucking screamed and yelled, "Thanks, fucking GameCube, you stupid bastards!" That's where they debuted, on GameCube.
Yeah. He says also another RE7 questions. Jesus Christ. I'm kidding. Also, do you think Resident Evil 7 should bring back most of the characters of the franchise to be all in one game?
No.
No. Because that'll make more plot holes, but they should definitely bring back ones that matter. If they do it, okay? Because it's still up in the air. But thank you, Abo or Abo119.
Hey, I'd love for them to do it if they had really good writers.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Main returns with more questions. Oh, I thought this kid was done, but he's got more. Mark
We
Main.
don't have a time limit, keep going.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. We had a interruption going on, just because the Skype call dropped and shit, so we had to get that organized again. So anyway, welcome back. And where we we're trying to figure out Mark Main, his questions, and he says for Resident Evil, his next question was, for Resident Evil characters that had multiple voice actors, who is your best voice actor for each character?
Oh my god. Who puts this thought into questions like that?
He has a lot, man. I mean, I appreciate the questions, man, but you really think this out, and I'm thankful to have somebody like you that's there.
Alright, I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say something obscure. Obviously, it's not the most popular. I'll say Chris from Resident Evil 1, only because he sounds exactly like the guy from Time Crisis. I think it probably is the same guy, but whatever.
So he's asking for our favorite voice actor.
Julia Volth, right?
Julie Lawson, a voice actor.
Whoever does their fucking shit.
Jill has different voice actors though.
True.
So, which game do you like her?
RE5.
Yeah, I
really like Chris though, like the new Chris, RE5 Chris.
Roger Craig Smith is his name.
I like Roger Craig Smith, honestly.
Why
I
does
like,
Jill have a big nose in that game?
I don't know.
Alright, go ahead.
Resident Evil 5?
Yeah.
No,
She has like a fat man's nose. If you look at her from straight on, her nose is so big and weird, but from the side she don't look too bad. Her nose.
Yo, but she's Jill. Jilly B. Okay, I would probably go with Patricia Jolie, who voiced Jill from Resident Evil 5. That's probably my favorite portrayal of Jill.
Alright.
The one guy, I also like, I think his last name is Silverstein or something. Keith Silverstein. He voices Hunk
The
in
band?
Umbrella.
Okay.
No! Umbrella Chronicles and Raccoon City. He has a pretty cool voice for Hunk.
Alright. Well, I also noticed that I've gotten more questions within the 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Let me refresh the page just in case, because I never put it on private. It's still up. So, Yeah, I'm sure actually asked another question, which
Nice.
there you go. So you're lucky, man. All right, thanks, Mark Main. He said also can't wait for podcast part 4. I think you mean part 3, buddy, because this is part 3.
Yeah, what the fuck's part 4? And you don't even know what the hell you're going to talk about yet.
Part 4, the final chapter. I don't. Okay. Anyway,
No, he's just saying that he can't wait for the one after this one.
Maybe he listened to episode 1 twice, then 2. And now he thinks that we're on 4.
no, we're fucking with you, man. All right, thanks. All right, follow the music home, which is Jenny.
I told you before you read this, something with dominance.
Yeah. Okay, Perry, you won't understand this. This is our good friend that we have on Xbox.
There's going to be a variation of the word dominance in there.
She said, "Are
Dominance.
you and Richard like together?" Now she's joking when she says this. No, you fucking bitch.
What about the tube top?
No, that's only on Sundays. Which was today, so it already happened. And then she said dominatrix, which I don't get that reference.
What I fucking tell you.
Yeah.
Dominatrix is, you know,
Is that an insider you guys have?
They're not
No.
together, but I'm with them.
you know, you know bondage shit?
Yeah.
That's dominatrix.
Really?
Like dominating during sex.
No.
Yeah, that's what that is.
No.
I love
no.
dressing up as Chris Redfield and, like, dominating Anthony while he's dressed up as Jill. Does that answer your fucking question, Jenny?
God, Jenny.
Jenny Craig.
Yeah, Jenny
Oh!
How about this poppy feel? Anyway. Okay, thanks, Jenny. I love you.
Does she know? Does she
King
know
Kong?
Brandon?
Unfortunately, she does, and she knows.
Shut up.
Oh, so, shit. We're on the air. Fuck.
We're on the air.
Nobody. He's not gonna listen to this shit. Black girls. Anyway, Blank Che replied to a guy named YTCS Chris who commented, "Your channel fucking sucks. Fuck off. No questions asked."
Yeah, well, you know, go fuck yourself, asshole. Who's been on here longer than him?
And then Blank Trey defended me and says, "This is coming from somebody who has no subs, no video views, nothing. This channel is fucking epic. Your channel fucking sucks. Fuck off. No questions asked."
Yeah, this guy's a troll.
Thanks, Blank Trey. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And yeah.
Blank tray, I feel.
Yeah, and that little bitch is probably gonna report the video, but you know, whatever.
Or dislike it, yeah, whatever. All right. Anyway, we have one Rapster444. He says,
Oh, hey, Rapster.
"Oh, is he a viewer of yours?"
Yeah, he's one of my viewers.
Awesome. See, I had no idea.
I recall his name. I haven't seen him in a little while, but I do recall the name.
Were you expecting more from Resident Evil 6?
Yes.
Yes, a lot more, especially the hype that Perry was talking about as well.
Fuck was Jelly?
Yeah, we were expecting a new age type thing, and just whatever. They just fucked everything. I mean, they made the game that they wanted to make, but it wasn't the game that we all thought they were making. And when I say that, I mean, we didn't know that one storyline was going to intertwine with everyone. We should have expected it. But at the same time, it's like, they call that replay value. I call playing the same fucking game 4 times over again.
Yeah, I agree. It should have been dumbed down a lot.
Mercenaries was where it was at with Resident
That was
6.
fun.
Yeah.
He has another question. He says, "Do you think that Resident Evil 2 remake will happen?" I want it to. It would be nice.
Unless it's rebooted. I'm going to say it 100 million times.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not going to go out of their way to remake it for you.
Unless it's rebooted, they're not going to take the time. Like, there is people saying there was a petition, and I know there was, but they're not going to listen to us.
Dude, they won't even fucking release Mega Man Legends 3, and that shit's done. All right? They won't even do that. I mean, what makes you think they're going to go back and say, hey, let's remake a game that we should have remade 10 years ago on the GameCube, and we didn't.
In other words, when he brings up Mega Man and stuff, they don't really care about their series anymore with any game. Maybe Devil May Cry, that looks like it's going in the right direction, but still, like Resident Evil...
They only care if they're certain that it will make money.
Exactly. COD sales, yeah. Alright, thanks, Rapster.
Yeah, look where that got him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure has another question. He
All
says,
right.
I have one last question. Who put the bop in the bop, shoe bop, she bop? Who put the lamb in the llama llama ding dong?
Hey, who put the fucking candlestick up your ass? Next question.
I think he's just fucking around because I told him to I told people they could put joke questions, and this was one of them. Yeah. So, I think Brandon put the bop in the bop, she bop, shoe bop. He put that in there.
Your bop, shoe bop.
Yeah, while he was dressed like Max Payne.
And he got her pregnant, too.
70s cop.
And he got her pregnant.
Hey, bullet time ejaculation. I'm down for that.
I wonder if she had sideburns down there. Okay, I shouldn't have said that, but whatever.
Nobody's going to listen to this, I'm telling you.
Well, if they do, I don't know anything about it.
Neither do I. What the hell were we even talking about? Like, we seriously are on drugs right now.
I think we were talking about Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The potential storyline. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that was all the fucking questions. We had almost 43 comments in total. A fuckload of questions.
I have a question.
Yo.
This guy comes from Resident Evil 27. His question is, how big is Batista's dick?
It's pretty...
What?
Seen it, it's, shock and awe, man. Shock and awe.
9 inches?
It's fucking huge, man. I don't know. I've never seen it.
25.
I just made that up. That's just funny.
Yeah, I know. That's funny.
Whenever I watch a shoot interview, one guy always asks a question, how big is Batista's dick?
The hell?
And all the wrestlers being interviewed are like, how the fuck do we know?
That's fucking weird.
That's funny.
Why is dick?
Because people like to fuck around and act stupid.
Oh, okay.
You can YouTube it. There's like a whole montage of wrestlers like being asked that question. Whatever. This is Resident Evil.
Didn't
how big is Barry's dick? I have this.
Man, he probably has like the biggest dick out of them all.
He has it, man. He's got that Magnum. That's a sign.
Oh yeah. .44. Yeah.
Didn't X-Pac rip open his ass cheeks or something?
No, he ripped open his anus. Your brother got that wrong.
His ass cheeks, huh?
No, he ripped open his anus and he started bleeding from his ass in the ring.
Can I imitate Nick on the podcast?
Hey, to be honest with you, and you can ask him, we had people complain about that.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, he's saying too much.
The problem is like knowing him for this, this length of him like kind of talking like that, he kind of gets nervous.
He does, because you know why? He'll talk about something and he'll keep going on, and I'm like, when do I get to talk? Yeah. Like he literally ran me over on 2 subjects, and I was like, okay, I guess don't have to answer those now.
No, I'm fucking around. I mean,
No, I'm not even kidding. We got complaints about that. And I showed him and he got upset. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Did he fix it?
No.
Okay, well, then.
Cheappop.net.
Cheappop.net, everybody. He's going to keep plugging it as much as he can. You got to plug my shit in.
Hey, why not? I'm on iTunes now. Nick, I don't know when the hell he's getting us on iTunes.
He keeps saying that he's going to do it, and I think he got kind of jealous that I got mine on iTunes, because I showed him, and I was like, yeah, I'm on iTunes. He's like, well, I'm getting a feed for free, and I'm like, well, iTunes doesn't accept the feed that's, like, free. You have to pay for storage. Like, you can find ones that are free, like, you can look, but iTunes won't accept the RSS feed unless it's legit.
And he was like, oh!
I use Libsyn, and I got my shit on iTunes in 2-3 days. They had to approve it.
Guys,
I got approved.
Guys, I thought this was a Resident Evil podcast.
Well, we're wrapping it up anyway, so
all
we can get away with it, goddammit.
Guys can't talk about other Resident Evil shit?
We pretty much covered everything in the questions, so that's pretty much
Let me ask you guys questions about Resident Evil, since I've been around the block longer.
Okay.
Yo.
When you played the first game, what stood out? Because all you guys talk about is 2, 3, and fucking remakes and everything. Well, I want to hear about the first game. What was the first... I'm not talking remake. I'm talking about the very first one. When you first played the first game. What the fuck stood out for you guys? What made you say, shit, this series is going to be great, or shit, I want to play this?
I think the music and the atmosphere.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I second that.
There you go. So pretty much we both agree. Because, and it wasn't that shitty, director's cut music, so thankfully.
No, not that shitty Resident Evil director's cut DualShock edition. Greatest hits edition.
I feel sorry for whoever played that first, because you know what sucks is like a lot of newcomers who want to play the first game. That's the one that's available to them easier because it's on the PSN. I feel sorry.
I don't know why that's on the PSN because the fucking remote shakes.
Who cares?
Just take that damn code and put it on it, throw it on the other one, and the other data compile.
Takes like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. Even if it doesn't rumble, there's games on PSN that don't rumble.
Yeah.
Who cares? And we got fucked over with that digitally. So the only way to play it is to put my actual disc in there, and I don't want to do that. So, but I'll give you the one for the DS. They actually kind of mixed that music together.
They did,
but they did a really good job at it. Like you don't have that shitty music at all.
It was kind of like it was more reminiscent to the original soundtrack. It was.
Yeah, but they kind of mixed both of them together, which is fine. But
better than just the shitty one alone.
Dude, if you play the original and the original director's cut, the music in that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
That will make you scared. You cannot play that at night.
Yeah, the game still gets you, dude. It does.
And let's talk about Zero real quick. What do you guys like about Zero?
I'm gonna have to say the environments, and again the atmosphere is pretty cool too. Like that train in the beginning was pretty awesome. I like the layout of the mansion.
Yeah,
it's like how many mansions can you have in the same fucking area? But
just that's
something I thought was weird.
Without spoiling it, I just think the story and the backstory and what was kind of more behind the scenes that you reveal as you play was very interesting. Yeah, and it kind of makes up for the shitty co-op system.
Yeah. The Zapper system was like when they talked about it in magazines, it was like, all right, this is gonna be cool. And it was cool at first, but then to me it got so annoying.
And I hated dropping items. I hated that. No inventory, like no item box. I hated.
Yeah, that's kind of stood like.
Pretty much the floor was your item box.
Yeah, the floor was. Trust me, I enjoyed my Let's Play. That was my last Let's Play I did. I loved that. It was fun, but that's my complaint. The co-op was a little iffy, and I don't like the inventory.
What I didn't like was the villain. He came together from leeches.
Oh, yeah.
And then the final boss is a huge spider. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Yeah, it's like a big leech-looking thing, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And then when you find her in the first game, obviously they didn't plan this out. But in Remake, when you find her, she doesn't say, oh my god, I was in another mansion and I ran to this one. And she just says, oh no, those monsters. Like, bitch, you fought those monsters like 5 hours ago in a different building.
Yeah, that's the thing they never really cut. Like, with
and
Rebecca.
Like, there were train tracks, I guess, beside the first mansion that led up to the other mansion.
I guess.
Why didn't they go to the other mansion first? Well, obviously Wesker steered them there, but...
Well, I think in Remake they made Rebecca more kind of like... Because when they made RE1, they weren't thinking beforehand.
No, they pulled a George Lucas out of their ass, because everyone was doing that at the time.
So if you play Remake, it makes sense, but if you play, like, Zero and then you compare it to the original, it doesn't make any sense. Because she's like, oh my god, there's monsters out there. And she thinks, like, Chris is like a monster, she sprays him with the fucking...
Well, the Remake replaces the original in terms of canonical...
And how modern
timeline.
It is,
yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that Remake did a great job because, like, they added those Crimson Heads.
Oh, yeah.
They added that Lisa character.
Scary.
Yeah, they added a lot of crazy shit to that game.
The backstory behind Lisa.
And that was Nintendo's way of saying, hey, the GameCube ain't just for kids. Look at this fucked up shit we could do.
And the graphics are still amazing.
They look like an early 360 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you really need to do is get a GameCube, and you need to fucking check out Eternal Darkness and do a Let's Play of that on your channel. I know you people are here for Resident Evil, but Eternal Darkness...
Heard of that game.
That's a fucked up game, man.
I'll check it out.
You end up... Part of the games, the room is upside down, then you gotta switch to controllers because they fucking disable Controller 1 on you. The game is
Metal Gear Solid, Psycho Mantis, is he in that game?
No, but this shit fucks with your head, man. Big time.
Just kind of like Silent Hill, because that's more psychological.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. It's more like Resident Evil, but it's like they don't have 100 fucking doors that are locked.
No.
It has an actual story to it. It's a really fucked up game too.
Doesn't Eternal Darkness take place over like a variety of generations?
Yeah, I don't know the story too much because I only played a little bit of it. But my friend fucking when he was done with it, he was like, "I'm never playing that game again." It freaked the shit out of me. I beat it. It's like it's on my memory card. If you want to borrow it, I was like, I don't feel like getting fucking scared, so I ain't playing it. But I ended up rebuying it about a year ago. GameStop is throwing all their GameCube games out, so I got it complete.
Yeah.
But you need to look into that game, and I think your viewers will say, "Hey, you know, maybe we want to see some of that too."
Yeah, I am always open for doing stuff different.
It's a little different. You can switch it up a little bit. You know, I'm not telling you how to run your channel, but
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Amazing
as a fan of your channel, I'm recommending you check that game out.
Yeah, I did Spider-Man a few years ago.
Because that's actually like a Resident Evil type clone game.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever I return to doing LPs again, whenever I feel that it's necessary with this whole YouTube bullshit that's going on, I'll hit up a few more titles of the Resident Evil, and then who knows, maybe in the future something like that will happen.
So let's give our quick thoughts, our final thoughts, or whatever. If they do a 7.
7.
I'm a guest on the show. I might as well drag out some questions that maybe people want to know. Maybe people are like, "Oh, you didn't answer that too well." Well, let's see what we could come up with here.
Well,
what would you like to see in 7 that would fix the series? Fuck controls. I'm talking like
a cleaner,
a
organized storyline,
a better atmosphere, a genuinely scary game. Characters
How would you do that? I guess that's
so
another. I guess that's another.
Okay, you want specifics on each. Okay, go Richard.
Terrifying music for one. Terrifying environments. Like I can't really explain how I would want them to do it because not everybody would agree with me. It would be their...
Yeah, but you know what? Fuck everyone else. Just think about how you would want this game. Don't worry about nothing else. 'Cause you know what? What you're saying is a what if.
Yeah.
You're not.
But then,
Capcom,
if I think of the environments, wouldn't I have to think of a story as well?
Yeah, think about what you could do with it. Do you want the same old characters, or do you want new people?
Yeah, I want Jill and Hunk. You know, I have environments in my head, but then I don't have the story. Put in a school, put in an asylum.
Well, let's say Hunk. Let's say Jill's in an asylum somehow, and Hunk's got to get her out because she still has that fucking antibody virus in her stuff.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Let's say they do that shit.
Okay.
So you're saying an asylum, right? Go ahead.
Not just an asylum. I'm just pulling out examples.
Well, they could do that too. They could fucking put her in an asylum. He goes in there and get her out.
They could make things a lot more psychological as well.
Yeah, that's probably what they need in the series.
They can bring back characters as long as they do it right.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see actually. Something similar to the Resident Evil 4 Hookman video. If you've ever seen that one.
Yeah.
Because that one was pretty creepy. When the deer.
They showed that for a whole year. That was the game, and then they scrapped it.
Yeah, that was the ghost or something.
Yeah. The
doll head.
The doll came alive, and when they were scurrying across the floor, you could hear the little girl laughing, and then deer head on the wall just moved and then fell off. Creepy shit.
That was psychological.
It was, but I think
that was some Silent Hill shit.
A lot of people didn't really like that. They were like, "Well, Resident Evil's not about psychological horror; it's about physical horror."
Maybe they should have went that way.
Look at it now.
No matter what, people are going to complain about it. But at least it would have been a little more edgy to what it used to be.
Yeah.
Pretty much is what I agree with Richard.
I'm just saying, just put in some scary environments, a good story, characters we care about. I can't really go into specifics without having a lot of time to plan it all out, but yeah,
for the most part, that's
make it effective horror.
And they can write a really good story. I don't want people saying, "Well, there's nothing they could do." It's no, if Capcom actually they get a good director.
Hey, I said that.
Yeah, but I'm saying just for the record, all in all, they can do that, and I don't want to hear that shit when people, because they can. They need a good director, a good writer that knows how not to leave plot holes, and if they can somehow forget altogether that RE6 happened, fine. Because the cool part is think about it. If you do a Jill storyline again, she wasn't in RE6, so that's perfect to just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're going to get fans saying, "Ooh, it's not a real game."
Oh, you could just like Perry said, fast forward it 10 years, maybe have like a quick little flashback, like 10 years have passed since the bioterrorism attack in China. Blah blah
I
blah.
think that's the way to go.
And that's it. You know, you don't have to build up on RE6's story.
Don't even fucking worry about that game. Just
Who
that game
cares?
happened and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like fucking movies when they make sequels.
You know,
Well, back in the 80s and early 90s, they used to make sequels and they take place like Ninja Turtles 2, let's say. I know it's a dumb example, but that shit took place 5 years after the original or whatever it was.
Halloween 3 was like a sequel to 1 and 2, and it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. It was supposed to be an anthology.
Oh, Season of the Witch?
Yeah, like I'm saying, that one was a sequel, but it didn't refer back to 1 or 2. Like, it wasn't tied down.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a seasonal type movie. You know all about that probably, though.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but people got mad. They were like, it ain't
Is
Michael
that
Myers.
like when they put the mask on and it like eats them?
Yeah.
And that song comes on and shit.
Yeah.
That's creepy, dude.
You know, if they had stuck to that, the Halloween series would have been awesome. Because, like, you got the serial killer in the first 2, and then you got this whole new story. But each one would have been different.
Yeah, but they got mad that it wasn't Michael Myers. So I mean,
And, yeah, a lot of
brought him
shitty
back and they
slasher
fucked
films.
everything up. And then he was fighting hip-hop rappers in the last installment.
Busta
of that
Rhymes, dude.
Original one.
Busta Rhymes.
Resurrection.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Oh,
Is that what he
God.
said?
Yeah, before he killed him.
Oh my god, I'm so done.
Hey, it's not as bad as, like, Leprechaun in the Hood.
Oh my god.
They
whole movie-
made 2 leprechauns in the hood.
Back to the Hood?
2 of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, Leprechaun in Space.
Oh my god. I can't do it anymore.
in Space.
Yeah, you just gotta give your opinions on the whole thing.
Well, I think that they have so much potential. They can do what I agree with what Richard said. It's just they have to. I want like a really dark game. I want to really.
Do you want the same
Yeah.
characters or what? Or do you want new people?
Possibly no, because here's the thing. Every time they introduce new people, it's always left like they either
never
bring
they
them
never
back.
bring 'em back.
You're never going to see Sheva again. You're never going to see her again. You're never going to see Helena again. You're never going to see Sherry again. You're never going to see Jake again. You're not.
Never gonna see Carlos, never gonna see Angela.
I hope you see Claire. Because I want to see Claire. Maybe I want her to get tossed up, and maybe she could finally meet Jill or something. I don't know. I just want a really dark, serious, emotional storyline, kind of like the originals. I mean, Raccoon City, going to shit, losing your home, losing your family. That, just on its own, is fucked up. And
Also, death scenes like Dead Space.
oh yeah, the censored bullshit that they're doing. That's
Yeah.
like that's what I hate. Japanese love censoring shit. The sixth one
Go-
was censored so bad that it looked bad. When
Gotta go all out with the violence, the terror, the horror.
that brings it out.
It all contributes to the dark
I'm sorry, but
atmosphere.
the Dead Space 1 deaths made me not want to play the game for a little bit. I was freaked out.
And then you got Resident Evil 6 with the stupid, lazy, like, chainsaw censored bullshit.
Yeah. But they
Hey,
but there you go.
let me,
Perry. That's what
Let me
we
make
think.
a point real quick.
Yeah.
If they bring back the same characters, same characters are used to this shit. They're not scared. So that emotion's already taken out of these characters. That's been invested in them.
I think I remember saying
You have
in,
a
like,
point. You do have a point.
in like the first or second podcast, I said something like, well, I mentioned something like that, and then I said, bring back, let's say Jill, for example, bring her back, but make her vulnerable to the point where she is scared.
Yeah, but
How
they
they
already
would do
did,
that, I
she
don't
did
know.
that a couple of times, though. They got to do
Do it-
something
do it-
else.
Do it again, but do it differently. I don't know.
The only way to do it is to do
You
it
know,
a
like
long
the-
time from now. Make her
the
drunk, maybe.
psychological
I say
hallucination.
Claire.
The
I say Claire because she wasn't in a lot of situations. Like Code Veronica, forget about that because like
Yeah, but by the time Code Veronica, she was already used to the shit. That's why they never brought it back.
Honestly, you can like pick out any Resident Evil character, and they're not really scared of their situation.
you can take a character and strip them down to the point where they're vulnerable. I believe they can do that.
Yeah.
They have the potential of doing that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're so used to it because they've been through the situation 3 or 4. Like Leon Kennedy, that motherfucker will never get scared.
True.
So what if he's not scared? How are you supposed to suspend your disbelief that, fuck, if he's not scared, why should I be scared?
Maybe.
I think if they get good enough writers, they can make it possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, I know what you're saying, Perry, because if there was a completely new individual, people will complain and it won't feel right.
Yeah, but you know what, Ant? They're going to complain no matter what they do.
You're right.
Yeah.
No matter
People
what
love
they
to
do, there's going to
complain.
be somebody out
People
there.
love to
Well,
complain.
If they make a 7, they'll get complaints. If they reboot it, they'll get complaints. No matter what they do,
hmm
they have to totally fuck these people up somehow to get them scared again.
If we're going to fast forward 10 years, for example, our characters are going to be old.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be not as good in combat or not as good under these certain situations.
Yeah, but
So
look at
maybe
Die
that
Hard.
could. Yeah.
Fuck you guys. The
A
fourth
bald-
movie.
All
30
Terminator. Leon
fourth-
is like John McClane. He's always in these situations.
The fourth movie, like 25 years later, he's jumping off a jet and he lands on concrete and he's not cut or nothing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think nobody's going to agree with me because it's out of style. I think
Old camera.
old camera angles and old auto aim features, just like Remake.
I agree
If
with
people
that.
can play Remake today and say it's amazing, they can play a modern Resident Evil game.
Why isn't that game on Xbox
I
Live?
don't know, and
I have a few problems with the auto aiming only when I want to aim at a Crimson Head. But then if a fat zombie is like closer to me, Jill will aim at the fat zombie, even though the Crimson Head is rushing right at me.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but hey, you know what? They could do something with that. That's the thing. You know what?
That might have been done
You
intentionally.
want to know something, Perry?
So you can't get a
Shit.
clear shot on that crazy zombie.
God damn, no, get me out of there.
Yeah. You want to know one thing though, Perry? That's the thing. You want to get maybe even you can return a character, but they can. What will help them is maybe stripping that camera angle and bringing back the old school style. Not for the sake of just because of fans. No, make it effective. Like make it set up in like a corner where like something can pop out and it can scare the fuck out of you. I mean, hey,
Well, maybe you could do something where Jill, for example, has like a young niece or something, and then the niece is freaked out, and Jill has to protect that niece throughout the entire game. I'm not talking like a Sheva type deal,
Or
but I'm
escort
talking
missions.
like because there's fear in that niece,
maybe like Ashley,
which makes
maybe
Jill more like vulnerable and more fearful that her niece could get killed. Something like that.
like Ashley from
It'd be
RE4.
pretty freaky, like
Well,
knowing
not
that-
really her, but
It'd be pretty freaky knowing that the niece is in danger, and then Jill would have to like go into danger
yeah.
without
And then
anything to help her.
the player's in suspense because they're like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
I got to make sure I do the right thing, or else this girl's gonna get killed, and then Jill's gonna be upset."
Mhm.
I mean, I know it sounds stupid saying stuff like that, but
yeah,
that could
but-
be another solution.
Yeah, these are just examples, but Capcom could definitely use them.
Yeah, well, all right. That's our opinions of RE7, and I think it's about time to wrap it up because I don't want to go on too long about this.
Oh.
We're
It's
clock
whole nother topic, I guess, for another podcast.
another podcast, and this definitely won't be the last time you'll be seeing Perry. So I want to thank everybody who's been listening, who's been watching my videos, Richard's, and now you can watch Perry's if you're not familiar with him. I want to thank Perry for coming on to the show, and this is a really good time. This is my favorite.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. This is my favorite episode by far. This is one of my. I just love the conversations that kept coming up, and we will have Perry back again some other time. We'll probably have some other guests maybe in the future. We'll switch it up a
Let me
bit.
get a plug in when you're done.
Yeah, and and yeah. So thank you. Now, let me think what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say one more thing. Yeah, again. This will be on the website. You can download this on iTunes and Libsyn. I'm going to have the links in the description. I'm going to have Perry's channel. I'm going to have Richard's channel in the description. And I'm going to have the few links to the articles we wanted to show you guys about the rat leaving the note thing. That was kind of funny.
I love how that's
Believe me,
still.
if I had an April Fool's joke, I'd play a better one than that.
Yeah, trust me. I know Perry. We did that RE2 April Fool's joke. I don't know if you remember that, Perry, with the suicide button.
I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That was fun. That was a good one. People were like, we had Perry like pretend like he was the Sony guy saying, "I can't help you, sir." I remember that. That was a good one.
Oh, did you call? Yeah, you called me up and we did a thing,
Yeah,
right?
we did a video. Yeah.
That was funny, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I think your disc is scratched or something."
Yeah, I
That was
lost.
funny.
I lost like 15 subscribers from that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did. True story.
Come on, it was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah, I mean,
It was funny. Come
It
on,
doesn't-
you would have lost them anyway when YouTube cleaned that shit out.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I lost 100 when I lost like 100 when YouTube, like, not at once, but in like due time.
Like, over
in due
time.
time, yeah, like it was like that. All right, but Perry, you want to plug anything before we go?
Obviously, Cheap Pop Podcast. Well, it's cheappop.net. You can listen to the Cheap Pop Podcast at cheappop.net. We talk about professional wrestling. We just uploaded a show, I think 2 days ago. On Friday night, we uploaded a show, and we will be uploading a show probably every Friday. We're not on iTunes yet, but we will be. You can follow us on Twitter at Nick Edge, which is Anthony's brother. And you can follow me at Perry32X on Twitter. And, God, AOX episodes on
The
YouTube.
link will be in the description for you guys.
Yeah.
It'll be in there.
And just, again, cheappop.net. Yeah, he tweets a lot during wrestling. And I even get on him about it. And he's like, I can't help it. Like, you don't need to call every move.
Yeah, he's like that.
He's a good guy. He's my host.
Yeah.
I'm the co-host.
As Richard is the co-host of me, and Richard and Perry, are you done? You good? You plugged everything you want?
I'm plugged up.
All right. Richard, what about you? Want to plug anything while you're here?
So suggestive. No, yeah, check out my YouTube channel, Biohazard798. I just uploaded a voting video, so, subscribe, watch some videos, all that good shit. Vote on a Let's Play that I'm going to do. And, yeah, just another fun podcast.
Yeah, very fun, guys. So thanks for coming by. We'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.